Hey, what's going on, guys? We're still waiting on Rick here, but I was gonna actually just like record a video about like the whole Decibel Metal Beer Fest thing, but got a proposition here from Geoff, who I finally got a chance to meet face to face,
and it was every bit as awesome as you expected.
So much shorter in person. Like he could fit in a thimble. It's amazing.
Oh, come on.
No, but yeah, we're waiting on Rick here. But we figured why not actually do like a whole recap live, because we had such a blast. And I mean, from what I remember, I ingested a lot of beer. So I mean, some of these memories might be a little bit spotty. But
yeah, you're not much of a beer drinker normally, but we did end up killing. Essentially, we drank about a 6-pack in 3 beers because they were
varying degrees of ABV.
Yeah, and they were big. They were tall boys. They were like, I think they were like 18 or 19 ounces. So they were sizable beers. What's that?
We'll call it like 8 beers, maybe 9 beers.
Yeah, but I mean, we did it. I don't know what you did on the first night. That was the second night when I came because I wasn't there. So, but we did it over from about 4 o'clock till 10 o'clock. It wasn't like we were just sucking them down one after the other and getting hammered, I had a buzz. Though.
Oh, I know.
I was enjoying myself.
But yeah, this was like my first trip to Philly ever. And, wild experience. Cool town. Trip there was interesting. We had to take red-eye flights both ways. And for the first time, the TSA actually got a chance to fondle me. I was really not happy about that. Neither was the dude that had to do it. Like, he pulled me aside, like, listen, man. The thing came up in I'm going to use the back of my hands. Like, oh, that makes a world of difference, bud. But, yeah, the whole fest was absolutely amazing. Dude, I strongly recommend people check this one out. It's an absolute blast. Like, I mean, even if you're not a beer drinker, like we didn't get the beer package deal. Right. We just got the tickets and like decided to buy beers later because why not? But one of the big reasons that I went out there not only was for the show, but to finally get a chance to meet Geoff, who was talking about going, and Rick, who will be here
in a minute. Point. He's actually just hit me up, so he'll be right there. What did I tell you? I said 3 minutes. He's 7 minutes late.
7 minutes. Oh, you were off.
Yeah, way off. Let me just do this. I want to show you. You were talking about the beers. We did on the night that I was with you guys, Saturday night. I did not go down the first night. Sorry, man. I'm not much of while I did own Urban Discipline once upon a time, none of the bands really appealed to me much that night, except for Enforce. That was the only one I was in. But I want to show you something here. It doesn't expand it too much, but that right there is the price of 1 round of 4 beers at the Fillmore that night.
Jesus Christ.
$56.80 for 4 beers. Craft beers, no less. $12 a beer plus the tax plus the gratuity.
God damn.
So Rick bought around. Your brother-in-law John bought around. I bought around. Nick was a fucking cheapskate as usual. And we'll get to that.
Come on. I took the time to spit in yours when you weren't looking.
He bought garlic rolls, though. I mean, come on, man. They were good. They were good. So we'll get to that in a minute. I don't want to jump too far ahead, but yeah, a very pricey night. You did not want to be eating there for sure, and we didn't. We ate afterwards, and we'll get to that because that was banging. Oh my god! Dude. But the drinking there. If you went in there with the sole purpose of getting hammered, you were going to spend $200 easily.
Well, I mean, depending on like your size and body weight, like that. Yeah. Like, if you were like Vern Troyer, you would, like a couple.
Okay, I get it. If you're like Vern Troyer, yeah. You're kind of forgetting that Rick's a good 3 to 4 inches shorter than me, right?
I know. You guys
So
are both adorable.
If I fit in a thimble, are we talking about Rick could sneak through the eye of a needle, perhaps?
I mean, seeing you guys stand next to my brother-in-law was
Dude, that was hilarious. Those pictures.
I told you he was giant.
We were going to show pictures tonight, but Nick was a little scared of technology, so we decided not to do that. Yes, I'm breaking your balls, but I do have some pictures to share, and the ones with his brother-in-law are hilarious.
Hey, I recognize that guy.
There is Rick. There is Nick.
I don't know that guy.
And
wait,
there
you
is
got a photo with Ronnie Dio?
We're trending upwards.
Fucking dude on the end that literally was like in a different time zone with his head.
we're like a cell phone signal.
Holy shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So Rick is here. I predicted you'd be 3 minutes late. You were 8 minutes late. So keeping with your
1 minute of my time is like 3 minutes. So technically,
I get it. That's right. Like dog years, right?
Kind of.
Go ahead, Nick. It's your show. I will shut up. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, do we want to go over like each day first? Like,
Tell about your trip in and tell about your trip coming in, and then.
Well, I mean, I already
Rick.
alluded to the fact that I got fondled by TSA, but the plane ride was not great.
You enjoyed it.
No, it was the turbulence. No, I didn't. That sucked.
I'm talking about the fondling.
Oh no, the fondling. No, it was hella awkward. Like neither of us wanted to be there. Like he might have quit his job after that. But no, we got in town. Had a little bit of time to check out the area before getting to the show. And I gotta say, dude, the Fillmore is an awesome venue. Like I really just dig the setup there. The acoustics were great. The sound was on point.
Unreal.
All night.
I wanted to see, man, because you've been all around, man. Like, wanted to know how you compare this particular venue. It's a newer venue for us. It hasn't been there.
5 years, 6 years, maybe at most.
Like that.
Yeah.
I mean, the closest thing I could probably compare it to is, oh god, I forget the name of the place in Columbus. It used to be called Lifestyles Pavilion because it was a two-sided venue. Like one side was an actual like concert hall, and then the outside there was a pavilion on the other side. But it was similar to that, like just in terms of the size, the levels, and everything. But yeah, it was nice and open. There were good vantage points. Like you'd be able to see whoever you
anywhere in that place. You can see perfectly, and the stage is very large, very big, very wide. Acoustics are incredible. The sound system's amazing. The sound guy. I don't know if you knew this. I don't know if you guys knew this. And man, I gave Derek serious shit about this. But guess who did the live sound for Tumult? Arthur Rizek.
He was there?
He was there. Derek didn't introduce me. I'm like, dude, what the fuck, man? He's like, oh, man, I didn't even think. I'm so sorry.
Well, I mean, he's a Philly guy, so he is.
That's right. He is Philly. Yeah.
I mean, where does he find time? I figure he was probably like, mixing and mastering like 8 different albums right now because
at once.
Yeah, it's Arthur Rizek.
But I saw a picture of Derek and Scott Burns and Arthur, and I'm like, God damn it, you! And I'm like, Derek, bro, like seriously, man. I'm like, you did that to me. You dogged me like that. So we'll get to that. All the rock stars that were there. We ran into met a bunch of cool people.
Hey, thank you, man.
First of all, oh yeah, that's awesome. Got a good crowd tonight. Good turnout.
Yeah.
I mean, he probably didn't see. Hence probably why they're here. So I'm getting ready for 420 coming up this weekend. Got my super mini dank 420 ready. So let's talk about how there was a huge lack of a certain kind of beer there that Nick was requesting. And
which beer?
So Decibel needs to really do something about the dark beers, man.
Yeah, they didn't have much dark. You're right.
Really lack for a beer fest. I mean, come on, you think to be like a whole spectrum of the rainbow.
But you got to remember something though, Rick. We didn't get the beer ticket, which was upstairs this year. You had to have that ticket to go upstairs. So we don't know what they were selling up there. So they may have had a lot more shit up there than they did down south. And I'm sure if you bought the ticket for upstairs, you got the stuff, I guess, for free, right? But we got to pay for it. And
we're the peasants who get like the regular, what F grade selections of
oh
stuff.
no, they were good beers, but they were fucking insanely expensive. I mean, you dropped 56, I dropped 56, and John dropped. They made almost $200.
Hey, you can't be driving in. We can't all be Nick with a hotel room, right? I'll walk away.
Yeah, that was convenient because I could barely operate my feet. I was a combination of sore and a little drunk. The whole experience was absolutely awesome. And preface, sorry to disappoint everyone. I didn't buy much merch because I only went with a carry-on. So there's only like 3 t-shirts I got. But it would have been nice if there were some more dark beers because I was like sweating IPAs in my sleep.
That victory was good. It was like the closest thing, they had.
It was nice. The Crowbar one, the Crowbar beer I thought was really good too. It was like more like a golden ale. I don't know. It was nice and refreshing. That's for damn sure. And probably like the lowest ABV beer that I had.
The funny thing is I noticed one thing when we were buying the rounds from the bar. They started with 8.4s up to like 9s. And then by the end of the night, we were down to 4s and 5.3s and 4.7s. So they had expended all the really good beers in the early rounds from the grab bag. It was called, what was it called, Rick?
It was the mystery
beers. So they reached in and grabbed beers out, and we just divvied them up and we drank them, man. We didn't really give a shit.
If you want to blow me up, I managed to sneak out some contraband because they do this thing where they have to open it there. You can't like take a full unopened can out. So our policy. So I got this nice Crypt Keeper.
There you go.
Dark mild. It's a 4.20, a 420.
Oh, the magic number.
So cool piece of art. I think I've snuck out a few over the years. I got a Candlemass one, and I think I got some other cosmic one. So these themed ones are pretty neat. I'm usually not disappointed by the artwork. So
that is pretty fun.
And cool. I like how it's a little bit like it's got a bit of an ultraviolet effect to it.
Is that the only one you got out?
Pretty neat.
Is that the only one you snuck out?
Yeah.
Okay. They had a 2 mold beer.
Yeah.
Did you know they had a 2 mold beer there, which I didn't find out about until the next day.
They were pretty shitty about so first of all, overall it's very efficient, very well organized. Albert and those guys did a good job doing. But it could have helped to have a certain directory to help people navigate through the beer stuff. And again, the 2 mold thing. If you're spending that much on beer, you want to orient people towards that direction of emptying their wallets more.
But see, again, I think that was the upstairs thing that we weren't privy to because we didn't have the beer pass. So
you're trying to guilt
there was some special elements to the upstairs thing that we didn't get to experience because that was where Shane was from True Brew Works, whatever it's called, from Wayfair. Shane, he was upstairs working their booth or whatever. Used to be in the past, they were all downstairs. They weren't there this time. They were all upstairs now. Okay. So all right.
So you get it right at the counter last year. You could just walk up right out there and get that stuff. And they moved
they moved it upstairs. Yeah. Why don't Rick and Nick, why don't you guys talk about day 1 and then we'll get to day 2 then where I came in.
What band did you come in on out there, Rick?
I came in Friday night, right? That's the thing. They tend to do this thing because they did it last year. It's like they have more of the death metal heavier night when it comes to that stuff. They have more of a hardcore oriented kind of night. So this time they flipped it around because last year it was the second night with Suicidal headlined, and then this time around, and obviously Biohazard. So and I came in kind of late. So I did miss the Witching set. But I've caught them live so many times. It's again they're a local band. I think it was during Eternal Bleeding, right? I think that's when they came on. So I missed them. I think Terminal Nation came in.
Yeah. Okay. I got to see Witching. That was my first time even really hearing the band, and That was interesting because I mean the way they opened up, I thought it was like, all right, this is like some kind of like mellow death, pretty cool. And then the next song was doomy and sludgy and slow. I was like, wait, hold on, this one like completely like reversed gears here.
They're all over the map.
That was kind of the thing I got. Like all of a sudden the kind of like moaned, agonized vocals came out and terms like switching them off from the screams and such. Really good band. It was like really interesting. First exposure to them. I mean, if again I had more room in my luggage, I probably would have snagged a CD. But
you may or may not be. Well, check your mailbox tomorrow.
Yeah, right. He does it all the time for fuck's sake.
Again.
No, well, I had this thing where like when people sleepwalk, like I sleep post office walk and shit just happens. And then I don't know any of this until
Rick sleepwalk. Rick sleepwalk buys a lot too, apparently.
Man, dude, you must get like some like serious steps in there. How close is the post office?
Oh, they know me. They know me.
But Witching was really good. Terminal Nation was up after them. I've been a fan of them since was it Holocene Extinction, their debut. Absolutely crushing band. It's a $20 band. I mean, generally, I think that's all you got to lead in with. There is like, oh yeah, no, I'll just check it out, and you should. Really heavy set, just pummeling, chuggy, kind of bolt thrower ish vibes. Like definitely in that same vein of like Gatecreeper, Frozen Soul, like that sort of thing. Really solid dudes too. I got to run into their front man. He actually thanked me for bringing them up on the Arkansas States of Metal thing. We actually reviewed them too, that debut. But yeah, solid set from them. Then God, who was up? Was it Internal Bleeding after?
Pull the thing up.
I'm looking at it. I'm trying to think. It was Internal Bleeding. I think that was up next.
Why don't you just do the present thing that we did? Pop it up on screen.
Well, it's not showing the order. It's just showing all the bands. So I mean, I can, but we'll still have to do some guessing.
Let's see. Yeah. So Terminal Nation, then Enforced came on.
Enforced. Okay. Here we go.
That way people can see what just click on. There you go. Click over on the main thing there. Yeah, click on that. That should expand it.
That's as much as I can expand it there.
Oh, go back because you got to expand. You got to click that first and then do that.
All right, hold on. I'm just going to see. This is why. Okay.
So if you just open that thing up to its full thing, so you don't have all the other pages, then you just click on that thing.
I put the URL in the comments there. So if you want to do it from there, just scroll down. It'll give you a list.
Oh, okay. Well, here I'll try it again here real quick.
Present, share screen. Click on that tab.
There we go.
We're learning, Nick, of some new stuff. There we go. There you go.
Yeah, it was Enforced, then Internal Bleeding. Enforced ripped. I mean, I've seen this band, God, that might have been the 5th time I've seen them. They had actually had like some issues on the road with some equipment being stolen like right before the show in Connecticut. And I wasn't sure if they were going to be able to play, but they came on and absolutely ripped through their set. That band, talking to them over the years because we've known them for a while. Knox, their front man, and said, like, yeah, our thing with playing live is we try to play the fastest, most aggressive live set we can. Like, we don't even take many breaks between the songs. Like, we pretty much just yell, next one's up, let's go, keep it moving. And that full throttle energy is absolutely great live. Those guys crush live. Like, I've never seen a bad set from them ever. That
was the only band that really was the one that I wished had been on the second day. Now I know there was Jesus Peace and a lot of the bands on the first day, and this I should explain. I just was not drawn to that.
You're not a hardcore dude.
I'm not a hardcore dude. I'm not a punk dude. So that kind of stuff. While I did own Urban Discipline, and I remember listening to it and liking it back in the day, it just didn't speak to me. And look, as much as I like Rick and Nick, it just wasn't that compelling to come down Friday.
Wow. All right, I'll just remove him now.
Man, you throw the word "for" on something, it's like, achoo. It's just,
And by the way, I should mention one last thing here. I was the only one that brought home a little friend from the fest, apparently, because if you'd have had me on here last night at this time, I thought I was dying. And thank God I got about 9 hours sleep last night. The congestion in my lungs and in my head was so severe. Was sure I had COVID. Tested for it yesterday afternoon. It came back negative. Tested this afternoon.
I had a feeling it probably wouldn't have been because Nick and I were fine.
But I could have hit it somewhere before I came down, guys. I was out running around on Thursday and Friday and doctors' offices, so I never quite know. And just one of those things. Yeah. But I was very fucking sick, and I'm much better now. And I'm still active.
Compromised immune system. So
yeah. Well, go ahead. Sorry, just want to lay that out there.
Right, enforce Slade. I mean, they always slay. Like again, I've never.
We needed a proper thrash band there too, which is I think that was a bit lacking. I mean, again, if you love death metal, it's perfect fest for you. But I love the variety, with some of that stuff to kind of mix things up and enforce. And you talk about bands that put out great thrash albums last year. I mean, it made sense that they're on this bill. But I think that I think last year when you think of top thrash albums, the death metal bands I think won out more as far as the high rankings. At least
every death metal band that was a big one. It seemed like they came out with an album last year. It seems like that could be the case this year too.
Right.
Yeah.
But Enforced came out with an absolute banger. Again, they don't have a bad album. I still think I like Kill Grid a little bit more, but War Remains absolute banger. And they mixed up that set. They still play a whole bunch of their old shit too from the first album. It was killer. Now, I'll be honest, I missed Internal Bleeding just because I've seen them a couple of times before, and I wanted to actually walk around, shop around, see all the merch and such, and go outside, have a cigarette, run into some, more people that I knew.
Just so everyone knows, if you're hanging around with Nick, I mean, be prepared for a good secondhand experience.
Smoke break.
A few.
Usually it's in between every two bands, all right, I'm gonna go outside, grab a smoke, come back in, recharged, and then those are also excuses to go peruse merch. All right, I already have 8 shirts by that band, but what's one more?
Well, you were getting stares, man. We walked out there, right, and I noticed eyeballs on you, and I'm thinking okay, these are probably people to recognize you from the channel, and or just people that are creepy as fuck, and I'm maybe you need security when you head home, so either or, but
it could just be the loud voice. Jesus Christ, that dude is loud no matter what he says.
Could be that, but you did get recognized. I mean, you have some people came up. I think one dude recognized me, surprisingly enough, because I'm nobody knows.
The same dude, because I ran into him at MDF, and he's going to be there again. It was cool. It was cool, just hanging out with metalheads, because I don't know, there's something about that, going outside when everyone's chatting and someone just sees oh dude, nice shirts, dude, your shirt's nice too. It's do we just become friends? Yeah, probably.
That's all it takes, man. The metal world,
That's it. Always wear your coolest shirt. That's the first thing when it comes down to going to a metal show. After that, Jesus Piece. This is my first time seeing them. I totally forgot that they were a Philly band. And man, Philly loves Jesus Piece, and they should, because they were absolutely killer. Just violent, heavy, energetic as hell. They got the crowd absolutely moving. Just an absolutely killer fucking band.
Yeah. I think that band, that guy Aaron Hurd, I mean, that guy was ripped to shit, man. It's he gave Evan Seinfeld a run for his money, man, because he was shredded too, man, when he came on stage.
But they were arm wrestling backstage.
Yeah.
In oil. With oil.
It's kind of when you watch Predator, you see just Jesse Ventura and Schwarzenegger just have to sort of bicep off. It's probably.
And you just know, somewhere lurking in the bowels of the Fillmore, Joey DeMaio was back there too, in a loincloth, officiating the wrestling.
Wait, hold on. Is that body oil? Is that legal? Or is that performance enhancing? It smells
let's just say it's FDA approved.
Ugh. But yeah, Jesus Priest, absolutely
And edible, and edible too, by the way, and edible.
No. Yeah.
Sorry.
Tastes like armpit. And then after that was Crowbar doing their set of self-titled and Oddfellows Rest stuff. No, I thought they were doing like both albums back to back. Like that was, kind of what I thought it was listed as. But it turns out they were just doing
a mix
of both of those albums, which kind of works out because that was like my 5th or 6th time seeing Crowbar, and they always close with 2 songs in particular, Planets Collide and All I Had I Gave. And I guess mixing up all those songs that kind of just like, well, we could still close the same way. It was actually Tommy Buckley's birthday that night too. They did a whole little, happy birthday from the crowd. And then I guess like following not too long after that was Kirk's birthday too. But it's Crowbar. Riffs, doom, bleakness. God, Kirk's tone is just unreal. It's so damn heavy.
It's that Randall transistor head he uses. It just gives that fucking sick ass tone. I don't know if they call it the Satan. I'd have to go look up what that Randall head is he uses, but it's transistor, it's not tube. And it's just this caustic, throat slitting tone. It's awesome.
It's so wonderful. It's got warmth to it, but man, it's got that mega fucking crunch. Yeah. And naturally, because they're playing self-titled and Oddfellows Rest, that set was just nothing but absolutely killer songs.
Yeah.
My brother-in-law went up front for that one, and he was actually in the birthday video when they were panning out to the crowd. I could make him out because he's like,
oh yeah,
and wearing a bloodbath shirt. And I was like, yep, there he is, standing.
Well, it's kind of hard not for him to not stand out because he's like 80 feet taller than everybody else. There was 2 people there that I saw that were taller though. I could
always find him. Like, dude, when Rick and I were hanging back, it was like, you see John? I was like, oh no, there he is.
Yeah. All right, what was so internal bleeding, and then did we do where were we at?
Crowbar. We're on Crowbar, but now we're on Biohazard. Dude.
Wait, did you miss Jesus Piece?
No, we talked about Jesus.
Oh, did you? I'm sorry. Okay.
The thing about Crowbar though, it's like I'm a little spoiled because last year, like I Hate God also played, so I got my fill of sludge. It's just like, man, it's just I think to this day they're still probably the heaviest thing, man. Like just you go see them live, and that band is punishing.
I still need to see I Hate God live, dude. Man, Mike 9 might have like the most tormented vocals in sludge. Like he sounds like he is being attacked by hornets during every vocal take. Yeah. Well, that's one I'll eventually hopefully get to see. But Crowbar's it's like old reliable. Guaranteed riffage. But Biohazard
kind of rhythm, like Crowbar's a little more variety, and and the riffs are just pretty sick, man. It's just like
always
there's a lot more to hook you in. I Hate God's not exactly what you call a hook kind of band. They're pretty big and drawn out and just heavy and in a different kind of way.
They're Melvin's Worship. But they're like the ugliest version of Melvin's Worship they could possibly make.
From the tar pit. Yep.
Oh God, yeah. But Biohazard doing the Urban Discipline set plus some bonuses. That was the headliner for day one, and man, that was absolutely awesome.
It started out with State of the World address material, right? And
well, they started out the intro to Failed Territory, and it was like, are they going to play this? And then they went into the Chamber Spins 3, and then most of the set started in with like the Urban Discipline stuff, and then all of a sudden, we heard Tales from the Hard Side. And I was like, wait, hold on. Are we doing some State of the World address material too? And they played 5 Blocks from the Subway and Down for Life. But yeah, it was just those 2 albums, but came on energetic as hell. And it's the entire original fucking lineup too. And they're,
I forgot to mention, man, like, I know we're talking about Biohazard, but they did this cool thing because the Crowbar's drummer was his birthday. They did this whole thing where they brought out the cake and everything, and it was cool. It's like, I don't know if he knew that was coming.
No, well, I thought it was funny. It was like as soon as they were done with it, it was like, all right, now get back behind the kit. What the fuck you doing out here?
And I think about Biohazard too, man. Like they took that long hiatus, and I know they were talking about that. And that's one of those bands where they've been around so long, they've done this material so much. Like even after this hiatus, I mean, I'm sure all that shit just came right back to them, man. It's like,
yeah. Well, I watched like some of their footage from Milwaukee. Was it last year or 2022 where they reunited for like the first time with the original lineup? And like, there were moments where like Evan was in tears and shit just because everyone was like, oh my God, you're back. This is amazing. And I think he said on stage something to the effect of like, we didn't talk to each other for like 12 years or something like that. I was going to say
there was a lot of animosity for a while, but
yeah,
I think Billy kept sort of the vibe going. Billy and the drummer, what's his name?
Danny Schuler.
Yeah, they were kind of the ones that sort of kept things rolling. I mean, Evan was off on his porn, getting rich, manosphere thing, whatever, whatever. And look, the dude's been successful, and I mean, I'm not ripping on him at all. I'd love to talk to him, but it's just not my kind of band. But yeah, they brought it back, and for a certain element of people, and particularly guys your age that are a little bit younger than me. I did own that album, and I did like it. But it was a little bit too much of the mix of the hip hop culture, maybe with the hardcore, with the yeah, and it didn't like it. That was the only album I owned by them, and I never went further. I was like, yeah,
it's you listen to a song like "Down for Life" or something like that. It's like I'm like that's so not a Geoff song. Like,
no, Geoff, that's 100% a Geoff song.
Jeff's a fucking pussy, man. Geoff is a pink panty wearing poser.
I'm not here to
get it out.
I mean, when Biohazard when they put out a worship album, we'll let you know.
We'll let you know, yeah. But I mean, Geoff did have a couple of epiphany moments coming up here, so just hang in there, right?
But like the first time I ever saw Biohazard was actually in the Onyx video for Slam, and then I saw like the band themselves in like a promo, and then I picked up Urban Discipline. Like Urban Discipline was one of my earliest hardcore albums ever. Like that was like kind of a big introduction to a whole other side of heavy music for me. So yeah, that set was pretty damn special, even though Evan made fun of Ohio.
I mean, they came on during a time when the New York scene and it started branching out to other areas. But when that hardcore stuff was getting a lot more metallic, man. Like I know Suicidal was already heading towards that territory, but when they dropped Urban Discipline, I know those guys came out, and then and then you had influences from Ohio and Integrity started putting out their stuff, and then all of a sudden so a lot of these bands today, I think you hear a lot of those kind of influences from those early albums.
I want to say it wasn't long after that Sick of It All put out Scratch the Surface, which is possibly their most metal sounding album too. I mean, yeah, they were
accessible album, I think.
Yeah, I love that album. But yeah, dude, that first night was absolutely awesome. And yeah, I guess you could say it was the more hardcore night, even though day 2 definitely had some more hardcore. But before we got to day 2, we all had to finally meet up. Rick and I got our chance to hang out, and then we had to wait for Geoff because he's old or something. I don't know.
Are we on day 2?
Yeah,
day 2?
It was a weird thing, man. Like, so day 2, right? Saturday, we met up at a Vinyl Altar. And so that's so people who don't know, like, South Street is one of those hot spots, and that's where some record stores reside. And
food bar, a lot of bars, a lot of food places, a lot of shopping.
But the thing is, like, so Vinyl Altar is closing down. So it sucks that you came in at a time when it's not where the heyday, I guess you could say. But they've done a lot of signings. They had a lot of bands there and a lot of stuff, and they had literal altars and shit going on there. But it's very vinyl centric. Obviously, it's called Vinyl Altar. But they had a shitload of CDs, man. I'm like, man,
they used to. He really scaled back from the last time I was down, which was early March. Man, he sold a lot of CDs, so it was probably about 5-6 times what was there. But the good news was Nick saved a lot of money, and he didn't have to carry a bunch of shit back. But funny story. So I leave. The plan is for us to all meet up somewhere in Philly, whether it was me, come down and grab Nick and his brother-in-law, take him out to meet Rick. I mean, we were kind of playing it by ear, and I actually, Friday night, kind of got a little toasty for me. And this might be why I got sick, because I drank Friday and Saturday. I don't normally ever do that anymore. So, but I got a little toasty and I thought, man, when I woke up, I'm like, fuck, man, I'm gonna be awful. But I actually felt pretty good. Checked in with both these guys, and I'm like, hey, I'm gonna get out of here at like 12:30, and I did. Max an hour and a half drive to Philly, max for me. Usually an hour and 20. Wow, it ended up taking 2.5 hours. And thank you, Pennsylvania Department of Transportation, for putting a fucking pothole filling crew out on the one of 2 main roads into Philly for 8 fucking miles. I did nothing
but goddamn Saturday, it's
on a Saturday, for fucking Christ's sake. And then I get into Philly and I'm coming into the main drag there, and thanks to infrastructure bill, which is great, good stuff, they're tearing all that roadway up. So literally, I'm like updating these guys. They're probably like, Jesus Christ, there he is again. I know how it is, Nick. I know how you are about my updates. And I'm like, look, I'm half hour out. I'm 20 minutes out. But I ended up getting there, like, I think it was like 2:40 or so. You guys met at 2:00 over at Vinyl Altar. And Nick's standing outside when I come sauntering up, and he's on his, he's doing this.
Well, Nick was there first, and by the time I caught up with him, they were already in the store. I didn't see Nick around, but all I had to do is look for the tallest dude in the store. Sure enough, John was there. I'm like, all right.
Right.
I'm in the right place.
But Nick's on his phone, and I think, oh, I got a good one here. I'm like, I guess, sorry, I just got a message that set me off there. I'm like, oh man, I got to come up with something crafty here. So I said, excuse me, is this the Robert Sparling autograph line here? Nick right away looks up at me and goes, hey. So, and the first thing Nick said to me was, wow, you're much taller and much handsomer in person. I really
did not say that.
He did. He said it.
Oh my God, Gimli, is that you?
He's fucking lying. He said it, man. Okay. Gimli is goddamn Kurt Weinstein, man, not me.
All right,
we are not confusable, okay? But yeah, that was funny.
Compared to a warrior to save Middle Earth, I mean, that's a pretty good compliment.
So you're like pocket-sized Gandalf then.
Yeah. Okay. Whatever, dude. Yes, I have the long gray hair, kind of, right? So I wasn't carrying my staff. That was the only thing that.
Oh, all right.
I made a little haul while we were waiting for Geoff and stuff. So looking around, I'm like, well, if he's any later, I'm gonna empty my bank account just because I could easily do that. And he's closing down. He's got a discount on top of that. With everything you buy. If you want to blow me up, I'll just go quick through the vinyl. Let me start with this fun one. We were flipping through this, and he had this for a mere $10. And we were like deciding we never heard of this band, but it looked like such a Geoff band. Like there's such a Geoff band, but what the hell's the name of the band?
Nander.
We're like, okay, is this Nander? Like, what is this? It was $10. I'm like, fucking still to shrink and everything. I'm like, you know what? This will be my blind buy. This was my blind buy for that day, and it's actually not bad. This is like, how do they compare it? It's trad metal it's like Grim Reaper. If you like that kind of style of metal, but it's actually Vander. So I went to the checkout line, and Chris, which the owner, he's like trying to put it into the system, as he's checking it out because he couldn't find this thing because he was typing in Nander too. I'm like, you're selling this record. It's on your store.
What is it called? Ivander?
Ivander.
Oh shit!
I like Nander.
Infernal 1978.
Yeah, Nander is better, yeah.
I don't know why they call it that. It's like it came out like in 2022, 2021. And I'm like, so I don't know. I mean, it does sound like it's something from 1978. I mean, I could see the justification there, but it totally looks like a prog album, or something technical, something along those lines. But no, totally Grim Reaper worship kind of stuff. And then we saw this sitting on the wall. Good old Maynard over here. Delirious Nomad. So, somebody was asking about if I like the Queensryche guitarist. I mean, fucking can't forget about Armored Saint either. Was sitting there, so I didn't own this. So I'm a little light in my Armored Saint catalog, so I'm chipping away at it. So I think when Dennis Analog Archives was talking about this, you guys were praising it. So
that's good album.
Yeah,
I like Raising Fear more.
So I said, let me finally check it out. And this album right here finally completes my So I do have it on CD. I got all the Sabbath on CD, but on vinyl, all the Ozzy era. So this was my missing link. So finally have technical ecstasy. So if you like robot porn, this is definitely in your alley. So
He's lasering her robogina.
And I saved the best for last. I was looking. We were looking at the 45s on the wall, and I'm like, I'm that guy. I'm the dude, and I fucking bought the Crush Groove 45.
Damn, dude.
1985, man.
Damn,
man. Dude, the memories on this thing, man. Fat Boys, Run DMC, Sheila E., Curtis Blow, all on one song, man. Just hitting it. So I'm a fan of old school rap, man. I really am, man. I could fucking talk about that all day, but I won't.
Yeah. Mid 80s to like early 90s, I was pretty big on that.
It was $5. It's in good shape. It's like, why not? If he had LL Cool J, I probably would have picked that up too. So why not? All right, I think that was as far as the stuff I picked up from there, and some other.
Hang on a sec before we jump into that. So real quick, we went in and we hugged and made out, tongue kissed, all that kind of shit. And no, it was true. You tried to slip a tongue in me. I know you did. You did.
No.
And that whole experience with the TSA guy.
I checked the bottom of my shoe. Like, oh, sweet, it's not Geoff.
Anyway, no. So we jumped around. We quick shopped. How about it, Nick? I quick shopped. It was like, all right, let's go. Because we knew we had to eat yet.
Yep.
We hadn't eaten, which meant we had to decide on something and find something. And so I only grabbed 3 things, one of which is over there. I'm not going to even bother to grab it. But I grabbed this. And unfortunately, Chris had to tell me he had this, which, I was resolute. I was not going to spend any money down at Vinyl Altar because I have dropped a fuck ton there lately.
Oh, yeah.
But I could not say no to this because I desperately wanted this.
I pointed it out to Nick. We were talking about that exact record before you came in. I'm like, that is a good price. I'm like,
yeah. I was surprised that you didn't have it. Like I figured you had it.
I have everything else. I did not have that one. Well, I don't have a Mega Wave either because I'm gonna be getting that Saturday, the new reissue of it. But no, I didn't have it, man. And then I grabbed this because it's one of my 5 favorite Uriah Heeps. I'm kind of big on the first 5 with Dave Byron, and then I kind of tail off. And this is the Record Store Day one from 21, I think. And it's colored vinyl, man, poser shit, right? So I grabbed that and a Inter Arma. What's it called, Nick? The cover CD.
Oh, shit! I forget the name of it.
You can shrink me.
Oh, hold on. Okay, hold on 1 sec. Actually, I can tell you here in just a second.
But yeah, so we did that whole trip, and then we actually asked Chris, "Is there a good pizza place around here?" We decided pizza.
It's like Garber Days or something.
Garber Day, that's it. Yeah.
I actually don't have that one.
And it's got weird stuff. It's got like
the cover of Running Down the Dream is like very spot on, but on the other side, the cover of Southern Man is a visceral, ugly, almost I hate God-ish rendition.
Wow.
It's amazing.
Yeah. So I grabbed that, and there's Purple Rain on it, and some other weird out there covers. But we walked down the street, which turned out to be like about 4 blocks. But we walked down the street and we hit Little Sicily Pizza, and I gotta tell you, some of the best fucking pizza I've ever had. It was absolutely tip top. Rick picked up the bill on the pizza. He was going to grab everything, but
Nick, I don't remember. You guys keep bringing up all this stuff.
You did. You bought the pizza, and Nick got the fries and the
garlic
knots or whatever, the garlic knots and the drinks. And so we didn't wolf it down, but we were moving because we knew we had to get out of there fairly quickly. Sorry.
Oh yeah, no, we did kind of hork that pizza down so we could go to the fest, and I was determined not to miss a single band. And geez, all right, that was a bad one then.
Oof.
But
he's all right.
No, hopefully he's good. I mean, he is getting over a bug. Oh
man,
we good?
Yeah, I think my brain just died for a millisecond or so. What little's left? Yeah, I'm still hacking up lung really mega.
Brink can survive with lacking 30 seconds of oxygen, so I think you'll be all right.
Get it?
Yeah,
Okay.
you're fine.
I was
You're
close.
only in for a few seconds.
So yeah, we grabbed pizza, we grabbed food, and then Nick and I and John jumped in my car. Rick took the vinyls in his car, and we decided we meet over at the venue. And we ran over, and I was hell bent on finding free parking because I'm a cheap bastard when it comes to parking. Fuck those guys. And we figured out John had done his homework, and we figured out if we went to the casino, which is I don't know how far was it, half mile walk,
like a block maybe, like.
No, it was longer than that, dude.
Wait, from the
venue
to the venue? Yeah. It was like right across the street.
Dude, that was at least almost a third to a half a mile away. We had to walk out and walk all the way over.
Yeah, we walked through the parking garage because we parked on the second floor, went through the casino to make it look like we actually. Yeah,
we acted like we were gambling and we didn't fucking step up to a machine at all.
Yep, we just go like, oh man, we're gonna hit up. Is anyone looking? Fuck, let's just get out the other door. But yeah, we just walked across the parking lot and then like literally to the road, cross the street, and it's like right there. So
it felt like about 17 miles from my fucked up legs. So there you go.
Well, and we had to take a detour to make it look like, we were going to the casino. But hey, we got free parking out of it.
We did. And so we got over there. We got a line right away. We ran into Rick. I think were you waiting for us? I think you were. You walked up, anyways. And we got a bag. We got 3 bags. Which do you have your bag, Rick? I don't know who was giving those out.
My bag,
Nick,
Geoff.
There you go.
Is that what you're saying? You want?
I love your bag. Show me your sack, Nick.
No, here it is. Yeah, I mean you're not close enough to smell it.
Kind of smooth. It's pretty smooth sack. I didn't expect it to be so smooth.
Like the other part of me, large and black. But I actually ended up like bolting in. I killed him. No. He's fine. He's signaling he's fine. No, I actually bolted in because I thought Rick was already inside, and then I look around like, where the hell is it? And then done. And
I was outside talking to Vinyl Altar dude because he got like a a VIP pass or something to get in, but he couldn't get in.
So they fucked up.
Yeah. So he was pretty pissed off.
Yeah. Rick is always late though, didn't I? I told you it'll be 3 to 8 minutes late, and he was 8 minutes late.
As long as it's fashionably, I think it's okay.
Yeah. No, but we zipped in right away. We could hear a band was on. I was kind of surprised. I thought we'd cut it like did we know they were starting that earlier, or did I? Was I the one?
The doors were at 4, and I think they said first band was on at 4:30. We got there like after 4, but they were already on.
Yeah, 4:40 we probably got there, so it was close. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, dude, the whole fest was run super smoothly. Like there wasn't a lot of breakdown time. Like it was just like next band up, let's go.
Yeah. Metal God, yes. Metal God, yes. I'm okay, but I got very sick after. You might have missed it after Decibel Fest. I got home that night, Saturday night. It was kind of cold when we left the venue. It was kind of nippy out. We stood around. We got food, which we'll get to shortly here, and then dude, that might have been the best fucking shit I've ever eaten. Like, oh my god. But then I zipped home, and I got home, man, right around the time I got home. Now, you got to understand, I was yelling, screaming, talking. I know that's shocking, but I was talking a lot.
Completely.
A lot of people, which we'll get to in a minute here. And
we associate you with Silent Bob as that kind of character.
I'm not Silent Bob. And so, unfortunately, man, when I woke up on Sunday, I was fucking full of congestion, heady, and I thought, it's just a allergy thing or something. Well, that deteriorated into Monday and Tuesday, which were fucking killers. I am, with the exception of the hacking part, getting all the garbage out, I am 90% better than I was yesterday. I thought it was COVID. I was sure it was COVID, but it wasn't. So, anyways,
I didn't see anybody wear a mask there, man.
I did.
I saw one girl. All right.
And I saw a couple dudes walking around that were. They didn't have long hair though, so I assumed that they were pink panty wearing posers. I'm not judging. I'm just saying.
We thought we'd see J Dog there, but now we find out he's holding out for Milwaukee, man.
He's holding out for Milwaukee, but he is coming to MDF. He's coming to MDF, so I will be there. Nick will be there.
I think Hell's Headbanger's been there every year I've been there, so that kind of makes sense. But
I can't fucking wait. I can't wait to run
up there. So kind of shocked. He passed.
he's seeing him at Milwaukee Metal Fest, and I don't watch his stuff generally, but I did watch the recent one. And first thing he leads off with is, "Oh, J-Dog, better get on. You know who I better get an interview with? GB, old dog." You know, I'm like, all right, okay, dude, whatever. So, you know. Go ahead.
First band up, though. I mean, Geoff, you're rocking the T-shirt. You want
before we jump to the bands, though? Like, I think we should probably talk about the glaring elephant in the room. Fucking Scott Burns was there, man. Like,
yeah, but we didn't get to that yet. That he didn't come up till later. We'll show stuff.
He was
there both days.
Yeah,
he was there both days. Did you get your book the night before, or did you get it that day?
No, not the night before, man.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Sorry,
because the second day was like it was less of the hardcore day, so I figured more of the death metal heads would show up the second day. Guys like Geoff were not into the core stuff, so I was like, okay, the line might be hideous, and I'm like, I'll better get my chance now. So I did get my book signed, picked it up there. So really cool. I talked to Scott for a little bit, and the author David
Gelke,
who put out the book. Never know how to say it. So pretty cool, nice and personalized. And yeah, talked about Paul Speckman for a bit. Like, okay, I'm not going to talk about the usual suspects. He's probably tired of the shit like all day. And the dude behind me jumped in front of me. Yeah, pretty cool.
Both those guys were there. David and Scott. Scott's got the glasses on. I got some pictures to show you then.
Talk about a nice guy, man. Fucking super approachable, just ready to listen to all this stuff, man. I mean, he has been, I guess, retired for a good long time. So that's probably a factor.
Yeah, I mean, sorry. So Daeva, man.
Oh,
gotta say, I had no idea. Rick knew. I'm sure he knew well in advance. Did you know before about them?
I knew.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I did not know. I was stupid. Had no idea. But one of my absolute favorite bands right now is Crypt Sermon. By the way, Crypt Sermon will be coming on Gasmasks very shortly. Pimping my channel. Already in the process of setting that up. Don't know exactly who, but several guys, I think. But this is the alter ego. It has Frank on bass, Steve on guitar, and Enrique on drums, and then the vocalist, I don't know his name off the top of my head, but it's kind of a blackened thrash band, right? Or a thrash and black band, I guess, however you want to look at it. Man, I was super impressed with these guys. They fucking tore it up.
Yeah. I mean, we reviewed their album. I've been listening to them for a while, and I knew about the connection to Crypt Sermon. I also told you that those guys from Crypt Sermon had a grindcore band too. It's pretty awesome called Unrest. Yeah, they're like wherever they go, they just they do awesome metal.
And they got a killer logo, man. Blow me up a sec real quick. Check that thing out, man. This shirt's killer. Could not resist it. Love that logo. Bat wings with the sword. I thought it was like a bat head, and then I'm like, oh, cool, it's a sword, man. Everybody loves swords. Yeah, cool band, man. Definitely gonna grab that album that they only have one album out, right?
Just one.
Yeah,
just one. Absolutely killer set, dude. The riffs, man. The riffs in that band just tight and vicious. It made me miss like older Skeleton Witch, which that band's been kind of MIA for a while.
He's going to get the album, of course. By the way, I do not have to leave now until we bumped our interview back an hour, so I'm fine on time.
Okay. I didn't want to keep you pressed. I'll wait for.
Good.
Oh,
all good.
Okay. He's going to try to come back in. I'll give Rick a second here.
Oh, did we lose him?
Yeah, he said his connection crapped out.
Oh, okay. So yeah, we got in. We sat down, watched them. Rick and I went out to grab beers. Rick grabbed the first round, and that's when the sticker. Well, I didn't know about the sticker price until I went to buy a round, but because when the guy charged him, I was doing a live review. I was doing a live short thing, which I did the whole night through. Each band I'd play, I'd put the phone up for a minute and do a short of them, and then we did in between sets. We did 4 or 5 updates, which was fun. And then we did. Did we do a post thing? I don't remember if we did a post.
I don't think we did.
We did. Yeah.
I watched a couple of the updates and I was like, man, I can't even hear me, and I got a loud voice.
Yeah, you could barely hear because it was so freaking loud. Okay, he's got to refresh and come back. So yeah, that was, man. I got to tell you, Daeva was the band that had me go, wow. It there was another band that had me go wow too, which is coming up shortly, but which made Nick infinitely happy.
Well, yeah, because we'll get to that.
We'll get to that.
But,
in a minute. So
there he is. He's back.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
There we go.
I don't know what happened. Sucks.
So yeah, Daeva, what'd you think, Rick?
Great, man. Just like the albums, man. I got the albums, and I knew they'd be pretty killer live. I mean, we're talking about pretty competent guys who are in multiple bands. I mean, it's like, I think you checked them all out. You still got to check out that Grindcore album. I sent you that link earlier.
Dude, Unrest whoops ass. Don't worry, if you hate it, it won't take you that long to get through it because it's Grindcore.
Okay, yeah. I'll get right on it. You know me and Grindcore. Can't wait.
You guys are like this, just scissoring or something.
But no, so anybody that doesn't know Daeva, man, should get the fuck on that band because they are killer. Like we said, 3/4 of the band is Sans, the vocalist, is in Crypt Sermon, who now have expanded to a 6-piece with Tanner from the Sequii, I forget how you said.
Yep.
He's joined to be the keyboardist, live keyboardist, and
I didn't know that until I saw the promo photos. I'm like, that looks very familiar. Like,
yeah, they're on the cover of Decibel now this month. Yeah. And also Matt, singer and guitarist for Horrendous, is now the bass player, and Frank moved from bass to guitar. So that's gonna be cool, man. I mean,
All right, I'm totally down. I mean, Crypt Sermon's last album was unreal. Like, it's so catchy. Who was up?
Daeva was the one band I did not get any pics or video of. Unfortunately, by the time they had wrapped up, which was quick, I think they only played 25 minutes, so we got maybe 15 minutes, maybe 3 songs, something like that.
That album they put out is pretty short too, so I mean, they have like a lot of material to play up. But I mean, they had awesome songs, so I mean, I'll take quality over quantity.
But they sounded so good live, man. So fucking savage, really crystal clear. Again, man, I got to reiterate the sound was absolutely insane the whole night. There wasn't one band that had mediocre or muddy sound at all that I recall. I don't know.
Yeah, everyone pretty much sounded the way they should have, and like they were efficient about getting the next bands on too. So the whole thing, honestly, it was
everything moved.
One of the tightest run like festivals I think I've seen. I mean, granted, it was 2 nights, 1 stage indoors, but still, a lot of shit can go wrong.
Yeah.
Lamp and Murmur was up next, right?
Yes, Lamp and Murmur.
That was my first time ever seeing them. And I gotta say, they were pretty damn solid. Very long songs. Like they kind of remind me.
When I go into a cough, just keep going. I'll just mute.
But yeah, very long songs. Like kind of like Owada-ish, except a little bit more on the riffy side. Like they didn't drone as much on the tremolos. Like they had like good riffy breakdowns on there.
They weren't always a full band too, which is pretty cool to see this full band lineup. Their sound has changed drastically. Like they played a lot of the more, I guess what you call recent material. It would have made sense to play their OG raw stuff, like from back in the day. Like I do have some of that. I'm like trying to pull that shit off live. Probably wouldn't have been the right audience for this kind of thing. But the stuff from the new album, the previous album, really good, man. That Pacific Northwest, that Vancouver sound, like you mentioned, Owada, like it's very, very familiar. They definitely had that tone, that style, that presence going on. Being the only black metal act, so that was like a lot more pressure put on them to fucking pull this off.
I mean, they did a good job. Like I've been told about that last album by them. Like everyone was saying, like, "Oh, dude, it's like pure immortal worship. Like it's, it's riffy black metal. You like riffy black metal? Like, you're pretty much right." But
I agree with you. You said Owada.
Yeah,
it's got a Owada vibe. Honestly, I like them. I know they're getting a hell of a lot of hype the last year or two or whatever. I thought the clean vocals kind of were silly, and
I didn't like the clean vocals.
They detracted a lot from the vibe they were trying to set. I think they could have probably benefited a little bit from being in maybe a smaller, tighter stage, kind of like Worm did, where the vibe was really big part. The atmospheric
sounds, it's a little it works better in their favor. Like I think with a bit of a smaller stage.
Yeah, I'm not saying I didn't like them, but I wasn't like mind blown. But I will say the guitar player, what's his name? Is that his name? Gotta give him kudos, man. He's playing black metal on a Strat, on a Fender Strat, which you do not see ever. He's not using an ESP or a Les Paul or a pointy guitar like most of those guys do.
I think it was all Marshalls too, like all the fucking cabinets. It was all.
Well, no, they had Mesa. They had Mesa back there. They had Mesa and they had Orange too. Some of the bands used Orange stuff, and I don't know what they were going.
Another band, okay.
Yeah, but here's a couple. And well, this will give you a scope of, and I'm sorry that we don't have picks. Nick was a little scared to do this. I got to teach him a little better. But here is, so this will give you a scope. Here. Yeah, I wanted to try to freaking show the scope of the venue. So the venue is sizable. We're sitting back behind the board. The board is right in this area here. We literally were right behind the lighting guy.
Yep.
And then the sound guy was next to him. So it gives you a really, really huge, it's a huge place. I think it holds 3,500. Hold on. And this one's a little better here, a little clearer. It'll give you a scope of how full the place was, man. I'd say at any given time, like when Deicide was out there, Two Mold especially fit. The floor was pretty packed.
Yeah. But
you still could move around fairly clearly. There was a couple great circle pits that started up. Don't understand that shit, but whatever. Do what you got to do. And yeah, it's again, there's another pretty clear shot of the size and scope of the place. Like I said, I think it holds between 3,000 and 3,500. And here's an even better one from an angle.
Yeah, I thought the chandeliers were pretty cool because the light would.
Go ahead, come off.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked their set overall. I mean, I think there was one moment where dude dropped his guitar pick and had to go searching around on stage for it.
Actually, it was worse than that. It was worse than that. His guitar cut out. He either kicked the foot pedal out and disconnected it. Yeah, his sound completely dropped out. They went to a 3-piece. And he was down there fucking around trying to plug it back in. You could hear it kind of, I think he got aggressive with the pedal. You know, he was hitting something like this, like a distortion pedal or something. Yeah. And if you didn't have it connected properly, I think he either kicked it off or something, because I saw him down there. I could tell right away he lost the audio. So
wow. That was about the only big issue, I guess, that happened.
It happens, man. I remember when I saw Wolves in the throne room that something like that similarly happened. It was like 5 minutes they had downtime because the fucking sound went out or something. It's just and they had this elaborate set with the forest and everything, all ready to go. And fucking 2 minutes into the set, bam, the sound goes out.
Well, I mean, at least with the stage smoke in there, everyone thinks oh, they're just moving around props or something like that, because you can barely see Wolves in the Throne Room at a certain point at a Wolves in the Throne Room show. Those dudes love their smoke machines and the sage. It gets to be a bit much.
I'm really curious to see what's going to happen with Spectral Voice at Kung Fu Necktie. That is a tiny place, and they're going to bring in candelabras with lit candles, man. I don't know how that's going to go down with the fire codes and shit there. That may not work real well. We'll see, but we're deflecting.
I might be putting in Marley too, man. Last time I was there, I called that band Mesa when they were on their first US tour, and it was and I'm a short guy. You think I'd be pretty easy to fit into places, and it was still pretty tight.
Well, I checked, Rick. It's only half sold out. Now it is another 4 weeks away. I was kind of shocked by that, especially since you got Esoteric, you got Cathealist, and Spectral. But yeah, it may be sold out by that time. But anyways, Alex, you asked, do you guys ever go to the Barricade when you're at shows? I'm 58 years old, dude. I I was up there in the pit area twice for Deicide and for Tomb Mold. So these two guys here did not go up front.
I said
me and John.
I'm too short for that shit too, man. I fucking get this on like a rag doll.
But was I on the barricade? No, I was probably 7-8 feet from it. I mean, I could not reach out and touch it, but it was close. And I was very, very close to the fucking the pit that opened up for both Tomb Mold and for Deicide. So I was watching, kind of keeping one hand up. But your brother-in-law was on one side of me, so I was like, yeah, he's a pretty good buffer. I don't think I have to worry about anybody coming through.
As soon as you went down there, he was like, I'm gonna go down there. I'll make sure he's all right. We
got to protect our delicate little flower, the old man.
Like I said, I've seen my brother-in-law move someone by their face.
He could do that.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. I don't have that ability. So, like...
yeah. Well, I mean, everyone's just like puny human move. But yeah, he was going to make sure you were all right.
He does the General Zod thing, just like kneel.
Alex, the Kung Fu is the show I'm going to, or maybe going to, because of all the fucking stupid shit. It's the same exact night as the pre-fest for Maryland Death Fest, which Kelly and Atheist are playing, and Crip Sermon's playing, and Sodom's playing. So I'm like, but I have tickets that I got for Rick and I. Unbeknownst to me, Rick's going to be away that week traveling, but I have tickets for Spectral Voice, Esoteric, and Cathedralist, which we will be seeing at Maryland Death Fest about 4 days later. So if I don't make it to Kung Fu, I'm going to go to the pre-fest to hang out with Kelly, but we'll see. I haven't gotten there yet. I have to get a ticket for the pre-fest. So that answers your question. Sorry. Yeah, Lamp of Murmur, I give him honest, man, I got to give him like a 6.5 out of 10. It just wasn't mind-blowing for me, and it's not a band I would chase down, but they weren't terrible. They just were kind of okay.
I don't know. I dug them. I know this next band. Well, I mean, Rick and I called it because we went out. I went out for a smoke, and Rick and I were just talking. And I was just like, dude, I'm stoked for Will Haven. I've been a fan since like early to mid 2000s. And Rick is like, dude, Jeff's gonna hate this band. I was like, oh, guaranteed he will hate this band because this band is more in that hardcore vein.
Two fucking thumbs down, boo-hoo, panty wearing bitches. That's all. No offense to the Will Haven guys. I'm sure they're great dudes. Not my thing. Hated every fucking second of it. It looked fake. It looked like the guitar playing was fake. The screamer up front was, when he was doing the theatrics to sing. And look, I'm probably very wrong here. Probably every element of it was live. It didn't seem it other than the singing. The guitar tone was super fucking digital sounding and all the antics during the breakdown. I know. I'm just.
They have a post vibe to them too, which is kind of typical of that. I mean, what you would call fake, Yeah,
I've always described them as like, they definitely they're definitely comparable to the Deftones, except like meaner, louder, and sludgier, and
not nearly as creative or as good. I'm sorry.
Well, no, they're not. They're not. They don't do any of the, the
atmospherics.
Really,
yeah, the melodic stuff and the atmosphere.
They also kind of throw in stuff like sludge, but like 16. If you're familiar with the band 16 at all, kind of similar to that. And there's like post-metal elements. Like they've incorporated more keyboards and synths and more atmosphere. I just flat out like this band. Like they were just this weird sort of syncopated, heavy, just gross sound. And I thought they had a killer set.
I was telling you, man, I was not familiar with the band. I knew of them, but I've never really checked out their stuff. But based on the description, it definitely fit. I do have some of that kind of stuff in the collection, but that band in particular, I just never got around to their catalog.
They kind of disappeared for a while. Like that vocalist, Grady, was their original vocalist. He left for a while, and the band was kind of, floating out there trying to get stuff together. They had a different singer, but I guess it didn't work out because he was only on an EP and one full length. But over these last two albums, the band has really just kind of got back that momentum again. And like the first time I ever heard this band, Grady, the vocalist, was actually on a Soulfly track on Primitive, the second one. I think it's the second track, Pain. Yeah, he does like he does like a screamed verse. And I was like, this is one of the few guest stars I didn't know at this point. So I checked him out. I was like, Jesus, this kind of reminds me of Helmet, except uglier.
Well, needless to say, I did not take any pictures of this band. I did do a short, though, where I recorded a minute of them playing. It was difficult to like keep the phone up and steady for a minute.
Couldn't keep it up. I get it.
Well, that's a problem I have in my. That's a problem I have in my old age. Yes. But let me see. I don't think I took any. Yeah, I didn't take any pictures of them. By the way, if you guys want to see the updates and the shorts that I did, plus the 2 videos that I did that came out, one of Deicide, one of Tumo. One of my Tumo videos didn't upload live because I did live like video from the venue during the set. One of them got weird. It seems like I was in a strange area on the floor that didn't. So it got all garbled and everybody was like splotchy and weird and shit. So, yeah.
I'm not sure on that one, Wolf. I have to actually check that one out.
But if you want to check those out, go to Gasmasks and Hand Grenades, sub up, check out the stuff that I did on there because you'll get to see a little bit of live footage. And there's a good one of Deicide. I don't know which song it was that they were doing. I hate to admit.
Probably one about Satan.
Huh?
Probably one about Satan. That's my guess.
I'm guessing it might have been about Satan.
Okay.
But it also may have been about buying groceries. I'm not sure. There was that moment where I swear I heard him say something like, Palmolive, give me your Antichrist or something like that. It was really weird.
Something about a caca demon or something like that? I don't know.
No, he wasn't saying caca demon. He was saying, Cocoa, Swiss Miss, give me more marshmallows.
We didn't go to the pre-fest, Alex.
Yeah.
Undeath actually played the fest last year. They were good. Out of Heaven, we caught them live separately, didn't we, Geoff?
Yeah, and I've seen Outer Heaven open for. We saw them at Horrendous. They opened for Horrendous. I saw them twice. Yeah, so it wasn't enough there meat on the bone for me to come down for that. But I'll tell you, Dead by Dish Soap. That was the song right there. You got it, man. That was the one. It's on my my YouTube channel. But go check those out, guys. Sorry, go ahead, man.
Well, I was gonna say, you know what? I'm gonna let you talk about the next band there because these guys are from my home state, and excellent band. And this was Geoff's
first experience. I had an epiphany. Before we get to that, though, real quick, I do want to say, look, in case any of the Wilhelmine guys would run across this, guys, no disrespect. You guys were very professional. You were super cool. The singer was super cool. He was the one guy that was really talking to the audience quite a bit in between songs. It just ain't my thing, man. I'm sorry. You can't love everything in metal. You can't love every band, and you guys aren't my thing. So there you go. That was my trip on it. But as for the rest of you guys, Rick, you didn't really speak to it. Were you into it?
Yeah, I was just telling Nick. I didn't have any of their stuff, so that was my first time checking them out in a live setting. So, like I said, I do like the core stuff and some of the post metal stuff. I can be quite picky about it, but I think they played a pretty good set, man. I didn't run out and buy their stuff. Nick, you have to fill me in on what
honestly I would start with the most recent 2, 7 and shit. I can't remember the one that came before that.
Okay,
but yeah, both of those are really good. And outside of that, like I know WHVN's a really solid one. That's where I started. But the last 2 in particular, I think are honestly some of their best work.
All right. That's good to hear. At least they're not a band that, put out they peaked early. It's not one of those kind of bands,
J Dog was not there. He's going to Milwaukee Metal Fest and Death Fest. He was not there. We looked for him. I looked for him. I was going to walk up and say, yo, certified pink panty wearing poser douche canoe right here, brah, brah. What is up?
I do have one complaint, and that was we tried to go to the post fest with Sanguine Sugar Booger. We're supposed to play there. and the fucking line, man, was completely ridiculous.
It should have been simple. Like, you want a ticket? Yes. Okay, I'll sell you a ticket. You can go in. Like, but somehow they fucked that up. Like, we were outside in a line that did not move one bit while the band was about to go on.
Yeah. Weird. But actually, when we left on Saturday night, it looked like it was smooth sailing. There was hardly anybody in there. So
yeah, I don't know.
But we opted for kick-ass fucking kick-ass stuff. So just to address this spirit of death metal, I can tell, dude, you're like a hardcore bro. You're the hardcore bro. You got it all, man. Limp of cringe.
He's got umlauts on everything. He's
umlauts on everything, and you're probably a J-Dog lover, I'm sure, but yeah, Derek's a good friend of mine from Tomb Mold. They're total poser metal, man. I mean, if you'd seen that fucking pit there during their last song, might have been the most violent of the night, with the exception of probably Deicide. It was fucking heavy. Yeah, I wasn't up there for Fit, so I don't know.
Jesus Pieces. God, that sounds like a fucking weird ass candy. Their pit was pretty fucking violent.
Right. But I will say that Dumo was fucking heavy. We're almost there. So 200 wimp, what's it called? 200 wimp wounds from J-Dog. Here's the deal. I'm an old man, and I basically don't check out a whole lot of more modern death metal. I've kind of checked out on it the last couple of years because I'm just getting tired of everything sort of sounding the same. But I do know that, Nick, you're good buddies you're friends with the guys in 200 Stab Wounds. And I wasn't sure what to expect, but it was one of those bands that I was kind of like, all right, give them, open your mind a little bit and see what's up. Gotta say, I was very impressed with these guys. Not only are they great live, they got riffs for days, man. I mean, great fucking riffs. They're catchy, but they're fucking heavy as shit. And I was impressed. Their singer is really good. Are they death metal or are they a little? What I mean,
they're death metal. Well,
there's a little thrash in there though. A little bit of thrash.
Well, I mean, soon there will be a new single coming out because I talked to Steve, the frontman guitarist, and I mean, I know for a fact that this new album is going to be a bit of a different direction. But yeah, there's going to be more thrash in the next one.
When you go for a particular style of old school, I mean, it is a little thrashy, like you're going to have those tinges in there. So it makes sense.
Well, yeah, I also noticed in this set, which honestly I think was one of the tightest sets I've ever seen them play. Steve also changed his vocal approach. His vocals, I mean, if you go back and listen to Slave to the Scalpel or full length, or even the first EP, his vocals are much lower. He's kind of moved up to kind of like a mid-range growl, and honestly, he seems more comfortable with it. But yeah, dude, riffs for fucking days. And their songs are generally very compact and short, but the new song that they played, the one that had that clean opening, that one was noticeably longer, I think, than any song I've heard them do. And man, dude, just the transitions were super tight. Dude, the riff work, the leads, everything about that song was like, dude, I am stoked for this new 200.
Well, and the fact that they had to deliver because of the fest, but also the pressure, the added pressure of knowing fucking what's coming up, right? Like, fucking, Deicide's going to tear up the stage, and they're like, well, we got to fucking leave some kind of a lasting impression our own way.
One of my friends that I met there, someone I've known on Facebook for a while, our friend Tracy, she was like, oh my God, this 200 Stab Wounds band is absolutely killing. It's like, that's because they're from Ohio and we only breed badasses here. But no, they're just fucking cool. Yeah, dude, I was super impressed. Like, I knew I was going to like them because, I already fucking loved this band. But I hadn't heard them play any of their new stuff. Like, this is the first time I saw them with their new guitarist, their second guitarist. And yeah, honestly, I would say that was like one of the best sets that I have seen from this band yet, and I am just beyond stoked for their new album, which I think comes out in June, possibly.
Did they do any new material?
Yeah, that longer song that had that clean intro to it.
Yeah,
noticeably more thrashy.
Almost had a little bit of a proggier sort of intro sort of vibe to it. Not prog, but a little bit, yeah. Yeah,
I
cool.
know for a fact Steve loves Slayer and like Beneath the Remains, and he wanted to incorporate some of that, and I definitely heard that in that song. Yeah, killer set. And
I will know.
Pretty sure I told Geoff that 200 Stab Wounds was awesome like a while ago, and he's probably like,
Your brother-in-law leaned over me. He's like, these guys are good, man, but they got to do something about the dude with the skullet. Like, that guy, that skullet is Walmart worthy like no other skullet, and it ain't no fucking Devin Townsend skullet, because we all know Dev rocked the ultimate skullet, right?
Dude, there is no greater skullet in the history of skullets than Debbie's dreadlock skullet. Like
exactly.
that was like the final boss in terms of skullets. Like that's the one you had to fucking fight, and you would lose because it had tentacles.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. But good guitar player. Mm-hmm. But dude, just go shaved, man. Just go shaved, or get a wig, one or the other. Or grow a really long beard and go with a wig like Gandalf.
I don't know, man. I see the skull. It's kind of an accomplishment, man. If you could pull it off, like, I mean, not everybody can rock that look, you know. It's probably why
that's the whole point. That's the whole point. He didn't. He looked like somebody's dad up there. It was weird. No disrespect, man. Great fucking live band. Really great live band. I was very impressed. Where are they from? Ohio, right?
They're from Cleveland.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So those are my boys, Stabby boys.
No, they were great. And what did I say to you? I said, dude, I gotta admit, I wasn't expecting much. These guys stepped up and hit a triple with the bases loaded.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I said something to the effect of "I fucking told you."
Wait, I missed that. What did you say?
I'm pretty sure I said something to the effect that it was like, I don't know, I fucking told you.
Something like that, yeah.
I told you. Yeah,
but you did it in a much more but you did it in a much more diplomatic, milder, meeker way. You're like, I told you so.
Yeah.
It was kind of like that.
You slept on them, but you did it on that Canadian band. They were supposed to, follow up. You know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, so okay. Before we get to that, though, now we'll go back to Scott Burns real quick because
I'll let you guys have that because I gotta pee. I'm gonna grab a smoke real quick too.
Yeah. So
sounds familiar.
We did. Well, wait. Blow me up a sec then, so that I can show some quick pics here. So earlier in the day, I walked out. I'm trying to remember. This might have been during Willhaven, to be very honest with you. I think it was before 200 Stab Wounds came on, yeah. And I walked out into the main room just to look at the merch and Deicide had a separate spot. Daeva had one. I think Willhaven, Daeva, and Tumult were all in one. And then in the entranceway room, there was Lamp of Murmur, which didn't have very much merch, right, Rick?
No, man, the shirt I wanted, they were already sold out.
Yeah.
That's first hour sucked.
I mean, they had albums. They had albums and stuff like that, but they didn't have.
I already had them though.
They didn't have a lot of shirts, smaller shirts, anyways. And then, who was the other band that was with them? 200 Stab Wounds, I guess. Yeah.
I was next to them in a
Yeah. Okay. So I guess every band was represented with but then across from Deicide and the bands was the Scott Burns thing, the Decibel table, which had all the books. What else? What else was in there? I guess the magazine subscriptions, old issues.
They were passing out free issues of Decibel.
Was Relapse there too with them? I think Relapse might have been there as well in the corner.
I think Metal Blade.
Was Metal Blade there? Yeah. There was that one kind of hot chick that was there that was manning the one. I think
Pull the Plug was there.
Yeah, it was Pull the Plug patches, and then there was maybe 2 or 3 other vendors that were there, but it wasn't overwhelmed. It wasn't overwhelmed with vendors like it was last time. I thought there was less.
A lot of them were in the other room. When you right before the stage, we have all those independent vendors, and they were selling their.
Oh, that's right. There were those ones by the other bar. That's right. but I just thought there wasn't as much merch this time around. But maybe it's just me because I wasn't in merch mode. I only bought two things there. I bought the Daeva shirt and this at the end, and this is kind of cool. I got the Deicide Once Upon the Cross dinner plate special. And what's super cool about this was they only did 75 in each side for this. It says I got crucified at Metal and Beer Fest 2024, Philly, Deicide, and then the upside down crosses. So can't wait to wear that to church next Sunday. Not happening.
Oh, they'll love you.
They'll love me, yeah. But so before we went into between Will Haven and 200 Stab Wounds, we walked back out to oh man, come on now. Why are you doing this to me? Hang on. To that area. And I saw Scott Burns and the line wasn't real long. So I decided to walk over. Now I already own this book. And if you don't own this book, you're probably not a death metal fan. This is the book he did with David Gelke. I think it came out in August, maybe September. Great book, kind of.
I think it was around Halloween time, something like that.
Yeah. So, I did not get mine signed because I'd already bought it, which I didn't know he was going to be doing this. But yeah, I went up to Scott and I showed him a picture of Kelly Schaefer, who's a buddy of mine. Yeah, I'm name dropping. Who the fuck cares? You got a problem with it, go somewhere else. Kelly and I are good buddies from Atheist, and I showed him the picture, and I said, "You know this guy?" And he just got this big grin on his face. He's like, I'm Kelly. How do you know Kelly? And I said, well, we go back about a year and a half, and we're buddies, and blah, blah, blah. And so, long story short, we started talking like for a while, right, Rick? We were there for at least 7 or 8 minutes.
Yeah.
And
you didn't have the line, so it was easier
right.
too.
Yeah, and we walked behind the actual table where they were selling. I just assumed I could. I went back there. We got a bunch of pictures. There's Rick, me, David Gelke, the super tall dude, and then Scott Burns on the end there. And then we did one with another one. And lastly, Rick went out and took the picture of myself and Nick and the short guy right there. Which, by the way, I was wearing an Edge of Sanity, the Spectral Sorrows shirt. I'm not lying. I bet you I had 8 people walk up to me and go, dude, that shirt rules, man. So yeah, so we did that. We got Scott and I traded some information, and I just talked to him today, and he and David Gelke are going to be coming on probably the end of May, probably right after Death Fest. I'll have Scott Burns and David on.
No shit.
And we may have some very special guests popping in on that one. So I'll leave that to your imagination.
And J-Dog, man, this is just
J-Dog's coming on. It's going to be a banner. Oops. It's going to be a banner month. And then, real quick, then we went out and watched 200 Stab Wounds, which I did not get any pictures of. But again, there's video, a live video of them. And I believe there's video of us. It's hard to hear because there's a lot going on around us. But I believe I actually say to Nick, dude, that 200 Stab Wounds band was pretty impressive.
It's on the internet.
And Nick saying something like, I told you, you fucking goof. All right, so this was interesting. So this is Twink Mold. You want to blow me up a minute here? Twink Mold as the unbelievably inventive spirit of death metal is calling them. When they came out, they had kind of a long intro warm-up thing, though. It was kind of weird. None of the other bands warmed up as long as they did. But they were third on the bill, and when they brought up their backdrop thing, it was this funny message about like Bill. I guess it was a dig at today's current culture of
it's an error screen. Yep.
Yeah, error screen, and it says all kind of stuff about revert to and F1 and F11 and blah 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 blah.
Blue screen of death.
That, huh?
Well, it was a mock-up of the blue screen of death.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's them. And I got to say, man, this is the live video that's posted. So I think it's about 7 minutes. And what they did, which was, there you go. See that crowd. Hold on a minute. This will show you.
I still have nightmares about Windows 98 Millennium Edition, man. Just seeing that.
So now I pan the crowd to show you this. The venue was really full for them, man.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Like packed, and people were totally into it, which just shows all those people are fucking stupid, right? They're stupid. I mean, who but stupid people would go watch Twink Mold or whatever?
Well, they all couldn't leave for food.
And they couldn't all leave for food, true.
Well, I mean, the lines would have been atrocious.
But I think, it has something to do with Derek wearing shorts on Decibel's cover. I think that's what it was. Oh, look, there's a mosh pit going during Twink Mold. How about that? Crazy. So yeah, there's that. And I think that was it from them. There is stuff on my website there. But yeah, that was one of the two bands I went up for. Fucking loved it. They fucking started with their more proggy, cynic-y stuff and ended with some knuckle-dragging, heavy fucking riffy stuff that had what I would say was the first pretty massively intense pit.
Yeah. Well, they ended with Planetary Duality. And
right.
Yeah. We know that false ending. That false ending when that big old beefy riff comes in is like, yeah, no, people are going to get hurt.
And it did. It was intense, man. And I think there were pits for the other bands, but we were far enough back we weren't really paying super duper close attention. But me being up there, I knew that was the. I was actually a little surprised at how intense the pit got, to be honest with you.
This was my third time seeing Two Mold. I hadn't seen him since Planetary Duality dropped. Like, we went last time I saw him, it was about a week before Clairvoyance, my bad. That's Faceless. Oops. But we saw him about a week before that album dropped, and we actually bought a copy of the album from the band. And yeah, like that, just a very different set. Like, first off, opening with the new proggy stuff, I thought was just bold because that album has been kind of divisive. I think it's great, but yeah, just coming out swinging with that and just showcasing just how much like better they became as musicians. Like, their drummer and vocalist, it still boggles my mind how he's able to do all that complex drumming and still do the vocals.
Dude, he is a fucking killer.
What they do, man, they progress. It's like, and when that happens, you're gonna alienate those fans that want everything to sound.
And you know what? There were sections where Payson and Derek are interweaving really complex guitar lines that are still very heavy. And I got to give super major shout outs to their live bass player, Kevin Sia. Yep. Dude is fucking real good. They're great musicians. And sadly for dudes like the Spirit of Death Metal, who obviously speaks for everyone in the metal community because his opinion is far from controversial and far from trolling. Dude, if you were on my stream, you'd be gone already, but this is Nick's stream, so I can't tell him what to do. But
he's harmless. He knows it.
He's a douchebag. But long story short,
more umlauts though. I really don't think he's selling the umlauts.
They were fucking killer, man. And it was only the last band that slightly outshone them for me personally. But we'll get to that in a minute. They were fucking killer, man. I thought they were amazing.
I mean, I liked every Two Mold set I've ever seen. I did wish they had thrown in like, a little bit more from like Manner of Infinite Forms. That's just preference. I love that album, but they balanced it out really well. And again, like showcasing all the proggy material like right out of the gate, and I kind of just again like just showing off like, yeah, we're committed to this new direction, and they're fucking excellent at it. Yeah, that band has just gotten better. And I don't know, like again, like who knows where they go with the next one? Like they're kind of, I mean, you could almost say they're kind of almost like a death-like trajectory. So like,
yeah, death or cynic.
They're human. The next one could be their individual thought patterns. Who knows?
Going
That's a great way.
From Manor all the way to Planetary, it was such a drastic difference. Like I remember when that dropped, I was like, hold on, is this the same band? Took me a minute.
They've always been like pretty technical in terms of like the writing. Like it's always been like very intricate. Like it's like it's not like meat and potatoes. I don't think it's ever been like very meat and potatoes. There's always been like intricacies in their music, the riff work, and transitions and such. But this new one is kind of its own animal. Like it really is like a totally different chapter for the band.
Yeah. I mean, the problem with a lot of death metal dudes, like, the Spirit of Death Metal dude, is they want bands to write the same fucking album over and over. If it's not crushing and head destroying, it's he threw a homophobic slur in there earlier that was pretty dumb about Flamer and shit like that. Guys like that, bro, you're Nick's guy. Don't come over to my channel. I don't think you will.
But I don't know. I mean,
you're really not welcome over on my channel. I'm gonna just straight up tell you that. But not because you're making fun of a band that I like. It's not that. But the gatekeeping bullshit's just dumb. We already did a 7-hour stream on that once. So, and if I didn't know any better, I would think this is MOD, who is probably the biggest jerk off I've ever met on the internet. So
I get a lot of like fedora tipping milady energy in terms of protecting metal here.
Yeah, you're protecting the death metal. So yeah, anyways, Tumult were killer. Moving on. Rick, what'd you think of Tumult? Sorry.
Oh no, they were fucking awesome, man. It's kind of what I was expecting. Like, they were pretty intense, nice and technical. It was a nice break from something like 200 Stabs. I think that kind of transitioning to something a little more, because here's the thing: you have 200 Stabs, right? And then you got Tumult, and then getting ready for something like Deicide. I think those guys were sandwiched in between those two acts, had just enough of a difference in style and stuff going on to kind of pep you up and get you ready, without getting all, I guess what you call, too much of a similar kind of trajectory. I think
right.
A little bit of the progressive element, I think, fit nicely.
And that was a great point. It was a nice little sort of change of pace to an extent, but not fully, because I was up in it, but I don't know how it was for you guys you two back there.
Oh, it sounded great.
But do you remember though what the audience's reaction was? Because I thought it was crazy high.
Honestly, dude, I saw tons of horns up in the air. People were cheering, screaming. Like, they had an amazing set. Like,
yeah,
I didn't see any detractors out there. Like, I was still, I was looking over at the lighting guy, because he'd show like what was going up on the projector. Like, did his computer crap out? Like, when the
we were waiting for it to change, and it just never did. I'm like, oh, that's part of the funny.
Yeah. Well, John said he was actually able to read some of it too, and was like, oh, okay, it's a gag. That's pretty funny.
Well, actually, here I can read what it says to you. It says, a problem has been detected and Tumult has been deployed to prime the nerves. Memory volume missing. If this is the first time you've seen this error screen, restart your network. If this screen appears again, follow these steps. Check to make sure any new hardware or software is properly installed. If you feel nausea, dizziness, ask your hardware or software manufacturer for any updates you might need. If problem continues, disable or remove any newly installed hardware or software. Disable all memory options, such as caching or shadowing. If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment. If you need to use safe mode to remove or disable components, restart your network and then select the safe mode. Technical information. There's Will of Whispers. Oh, it's the set, I think.
Yeah.
All crossed out. Stop. I don't know. And then it gets cursive forever. I don't know what. I can't read that stuff because anyway. So
it was pretty cool.
It's definitely one way to stand out. I mean, everybody had the big giant logo in the back. These guys had a bit of that humor. It's like you guys know what our logo looks like. We don't need it, 20 feet high and up on the stage behind us.
Yeah, it was cool. It was an interesting little thing to do rather than have the logo up there, which is what most bands did all night. Because I I don't think anybody actually had like a slideshow, did they? No.
No, I think everyone pretty much used it to project their logo.
Yeah.
If it were Exhumed, they'd have a slideshow.
Yeah.
So that was a killer set. We're down to Fit for an Autopsy, right?
No. Fit for an Autopsy. What?
I'm sorry, Dying Fetus.
I'd be very surprised.
Oh,
sorry,
man. Now they're gonna get you. They're gonna get you. That's it for Geoff.
Now,
it was nice knowing him.
I'm just not brocore enough, bro. You know what I mean? But I admitted I kind of like this band a little bit. But before we did that, before that happened, I jetted off into the atmosphere and ran into a bunch of my buddies. So I'll show those quick.
Oh, here on one second.
And Spirit of Death Metal is gonna love this, man. Look, he's not wearing shorts. Look at that guy. He's actually got long pants on, bro. So yeah, there I am. There's Derek, and a nicer guy you cannot find in metal. Such an awesome dude.
He's a solid dude.
Yeah, just amazing. And then I was over talking to all the Daeva guys and the Crypt Sermon, which are Crypt Sermon dudes. And look at this guy. Look who's there. My buddy Matt from
Horrendous.
Matt Knox from Horrendous. Matt and I've kind of become buddies over the last 6 or 8 months. Super fucking cool guy. He's now in, I don't know why this guy took 15 pictures of us. Although this is kind of funny.
Oh, you got another picture?
Yeah, I don't think you'll be able to see it. We got photo bombed by Enrique from Daeva and Crypt Sermon right in the back.
That's a good photo bomb.
It's funny because he goes like this in the live photo. You can actually see him running past. So then I didn't take any photos of Fit for an Autopsy because I went and had to rest my whole.
Who?
Man, Dying Fetus. I'm sorry. But they sound the same. Fit for an Autopsy, Dying Fetus. They're kind of the same. Right?
No, doesn't. No.
Well, they kind of are the same. I mean, all right. Anyway, so yeah, I came back, reported to these guys, and they're like, "You are one big time starfucker."
Yeah,
Are they the same?
Not even the same logo.
It looks the same. The logo looks exactly. Hold that up a minute, Rick. Oh shit!
Really?
Yeah, this isn't helping your case.
Yeah. Well, no, the Dying Fetus is a little more, I don't know, a little more gross and a little more old school looking. I don't know.
Right. So I have to admit, you can keep the thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, we only have one more band left. Yeah, and I know which one it is.
I can be honest with you. I knew this name. I knew John Gallagher's name. I couldn't have told you one single song, one single note. Just didn't know the band at all.
When they came on, one of the first things
shocked
me. Holy shit, they're a 3-piece?
That shocked me. The amount of sound that they were putting out there was pretty epic.
They were on a long time, man. This is a band like they're not like Tumult that kind of just came out, in the last decade. Like these guys, listen to that Bathe and Entros demo. You talk about fucking brutal, man.
Oh, dude. Grotesque Impalement. This was the old school set, and this was something that I should have said to you then, but I'm glad I said to you now. You probably got to hear arguably their most brutal material. Like, I love all their material. I don't really think they have a flat out bad album, and they might have like a poorly recorded one here and there. But yeah, you got to hear like a lot of their older, more just absolutely savage stuff, and you got into it. Like their more recent stuff, still definitely brutal, but I would say they definitely like found like a strong balance of catchiness, because John Gallagher has actually said it multiple times. Like the whole idea in terms of our writing is we want to play the most brutal music we can, but also make it catchy. And Dying Fetus got riffs. Like
they got riffs, man. That guy Gallagher's a hell of a guitar player. Although there was this weird little thing he would do with the guitar a lot, where he would go up the neck and go pew, pew, and it was annoying. I'm just gonna call it that. We'll just call it that. And the other thing, man, that was very pronounced on this set was triggered drums, man. Big time triggered drums. And if you know me, You either hate me or love me, or you just don't give a fuck. But I am not a fan of trigger drums in anything. So that was my one big sticking point with everything.
It's something I've just gotten used to. Like they've always had fast-paced drumming, and to do the stuff they do, the drums have to be triggered. But Trey's a beast.
Did you mention this to Scott Burns when you were having a conversation?
I did. No, I will. Coming up.
Yeah. But they had a fantastic set. Hearing again, like Grotesque Impalement, the song is like one of my favorite old school ones, and hearing them play that one is like just. And I like the fact that they realized they had like a couple of minutes left. It's like, all right, cool, we're gonna squeeze in one. You guys pretty much know what it is, and of course, it's Kill Your Mother, Rape Your Dog.
And Logan brings up, you didn't sing along to Kill Your Mom, Rape Your Dog, Geoff. Of course I did. By that time, I knew. I was all over that shit, man.
You could have done that. I would be like, yeah, no, he knows the words.
You could sing that when you go to church on Sunday with the Deicide shirt. You know,
I did. I knew all the words. It kind of goes a little something like this. It goes.
So sometimes it's slower than that.
Well, it might have been slightly slower. I had a little bit of performance anxiety. Probably went a little fast there. Sorry.
I mean, it took me a little while to get used to John Gallagher's burp. I guess we'll call it that.
Yeah, he's got a burp. Yeah.
How he plays off of Sean Beasley, who has like a really just animated growl.
Yeah, he does. It's good. I like it. I liked him better personally. Like I liked his vocal delivery better. So
well, I mean, he was before that he had Jason Netherton from Misery Index, and he has kind of that same delivery. So you get like two distinct vocal styles and how they play off of one another. But yeah, I mean, ridiculously tight, just flat out awesome set. I mean, Dying Fetus, I've never seen a bad Dying Fetus show. And
it sounded like there was 5 guys on stage, and I was pretty blown away by that. And it also didn't sound like there was like a lot of backing track stuff going on.
No, it's always just them. Like they occasionally will pepper in a sample, because I was kind of waiting for one in particular, the one that I bought the shirt for, just because it's a nice fucked up sample. But no, they just were just going song after song. It's like, yeah, here's another one we haven't played in fucking forever, and just watch the meatheads get in a circle and like, yeah, let's go.
Oh yeah, your brother-in-law John was up for that one, because I think that's one of the bands he really was interested in seeing, and he said the pit was pretty insane. I couldn't really see it from back where we were because it was dark enough that it didn't give me a real good, but you could tell there was movement. So
the first time I saw Dying Fetus was one of the Summer Slaughter tours. I think it was 2014, and it was at the Agora in Cleveland. And you know how bands will shout out something before they got that isolated riff, the breakdown's coming, they'll shout like, all right guys, stir it up or something like that. John Gallagher simply just yelled out, fucking kill each other.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
And
did he do that?
No, I don't know. I think he said just fuck shit up or something like that. But fucking kill each other.
He said something. I can't remember what he said, but it was something to that.
Well, being that late in the set, knowing everybody had alcohol in their veins. I mean,
you're all loose, you're all limber.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I stayed clear. Although
Supreme, I think the cutoff was, God, man. I would say I think they had one song off of Destroy the Opposition. They really went for like the old stuff.
I think they stopped at 2000. Like talk about the old school set. That's probably proper cutting off point.
But yeah, I'm a Dying Fetus fan. He told me he loves the band.
I bought every album. They're coming, vinyl and CD, and
you got a Dying Fetus tramp stamp now,
and cassette. I went all the way in, like completely. So, except the weird thing is, I'm pretty sure I accidentally bought all of Fit for an Autopsy's catalog.
Oh, there you go. While you're at it, we'll hang
out a band.
So there you go. Yeah.
So
we get to the main event.
The main event. All right. This was the only band that had a banner. And it's rightfully so. Like the banner drops down, the logo's there, the symbols, the pentagrams, Deicide, a strictly old school set. Well, all right, for the most part, just the first 3 albums. And yeah, how badass was Deicide?
I mean,
Rick.
I did get the box set last year, so I mean, I was ready. I was ready. It's been a while. What you guys want to see a piece of merch?
Rick, had you seen them though before?
No, first time.
Okay, yeah, mine too.
Oh wow!
Talk about a no nonsense band, man. Holy shit,
dude.
So I made a comment at the Decibel Instagram page. So they had this on display, and I got that right on time, man, because it was the very last one. It happened to be the display one. So I got the autographed. Fucking,
oh shit! Look at you! What? All right, I gotta ask. What'd you lay out for that?
Yeah. I played half a Benji, man. Half a Benji.
Wow.
That's not terrible.
It's not
it was the last one. The fucking pressure was there. I'm like, should I? Shouldn't I? It's like, I know if I get this, I'm not getting another beer.
J-Dog approved, buddy. J-Dog approved.
Okay. So you sacrificed your sobriety for a Deicide flag. That's pretty fucking honorable.
You will see it hanging at the Dreadful Cave in a very near video in the near future. Yeah.
Yeah, so, dude, that's fucking badass. I didn't even know you snagged that.
Yeah. It's kind of a last minute decision, but it was well worth it.
I'm just gonna say one thing. Dog approved.
I mean, all right. Here's the thing where you and J-Dog agreed. Deicide whoops ass.
Okay, so I should preface my situation. So I own 0 Deicides. I've listened to Deicide. Hang on. I've listened to Deicide many times. Now I will tell you, being the old man here, that back when I was buying Kerrang magazine, when Deicide was first coming out, so we're talking, when's the first album from them? 90?
90. Well, 90. I mean, that kind of 89.
Okay, I'm on. So 1990, I'm buying this stuff, and I see this review or an article of Deicide, and I see Glenn with there's an interview, and he's got the burned-in skull on his forehead, and I'm like, 1990, I am about 24. And as many will know that maybe know me, I came to death metal a little late. Didn't really come to death metal till about 2000, 2001. And I started with those wimpy posers, Opeth. Huh. We could call them like Showpeth or Borepeth or something like that for death metal, dude. But I went backwards into the deaths, the obituaries, the bands like that. And I don't know what it was, man. I just didn't latch on to Deicide. I think part of it was I thought Glenn Benton was fucking crazy. Like, just something was wrong with this guy.
First time I'm thinking to myself, with these death metal bands, like, that's commitment. Like, it's like you talk about, I can't even get a job at McDonald's now. Like, I got this fucking thing in my head now. It's like,
can't wear a Band-Aid over that or anything like that. It's like,
yeah.
I mean, it wasn't even that. It was just
bandana. I just never take it off.
It wasn't even that. It was more reading the interview with him. I was like, this guy's probably not right in the head. But the interesting facet there was I hadn't yet gone pretty much full on atheist or hard agnostic. So I still was kind of in that guilt phase of being a Catholic where it's like, well, I don't go to church. I've had premarital sex. I've had affairs. I've done really shitty things sometimes.
You're punching your bingo card.
I've stolen once or twice back in my teens. I'm kind of a shitbag, but if I believe in Glenn Benton.
Fridays, right? Yeah.
What's that?
You eat fish on Fridays too, right?
Oh, God. That's it.
Meat on Fridays.
What kind of fish are we talking about here? Never mind.
Oh. Shellfish. Those are the ultimate bad ones.
Oh, shellfish. Okay, yeah. I thought you were referring to. I thought you were using a euphemism. But anyways, we'll move on.
I've never heard of that band.
So, I don't know, man. I just didn't seem to get it. And a couple times throughout the career, I'd go back and I'd check it out and I'd be like, yeah, I don't know, man. It's okay. Nothing's wrong with it, but it sounds kind of fucking.
The thing about the tabooness of it, like if you weren't raised in the church and didn't go to Sunday school, I can see how it's kind of a null effect. It's like,
yeah,
Well,
I didn't do those things, Rick. I did
for me, man. Like
I was to go to church on Christmas and Easter. That was it, and that stopped very early on. I haven't been in a church purposefully for anything other than a death.
You never had Catholic guilt.
No, well, no, but not specifically. But I had the overall aura of, oh man, you know, these guys are real. Are they really Satanists? You know, I mean, back then.
Yeah.
And they could be, and they might just be using it. Hearing Glenn nowadays, it doesn't sound like he gives two fucks.
No. From what I gather, like he considers himself like more of an atheist. Like
he's an atheist.
Like, I don't like the church. Like for me, like I got into like Cannibal Corpse and Obituary, and then Deicide came later in that batch. So like the whole Satanism thing, like I was already kind of desensitized. Like I listen to Slayer. I watch horror movies. Like this doesn't scare me. Way to go on the burning your forehead thing. That's kind of something.
It's commitment.
But I mean the difference between say Iron Maiden with Number of the Beast, and Deicide, there was a palpable difference.
There's a commit level.
Well, and you could put like show no mercy in between that, right? And it was just like, which is very blatant. You look at that, you're like, okay, well, clearly this is not a Disney coloring book. Like,
I mean, even Slayer, who I read Kerrang when Bathory was coming out, when Quorthon, they were chasing Quorthon down, when they had Varg and Oyston on the cover. So I knew all this stuff, but like I just always had this vibe that, Glenn was just a little bit off. But actually, I've recalibrated all that. He's a pretty shrewd businessman. He's kept the band going, and he's one of those old school death metal bands that is an OG. And man, they are straight fucking savage live. They are straight savage. The two guitar players, Tyler Nordberg and Kevin Churchow.
I can't remember that dude.
Churchow, I think it is.
And Taylor's the new dude.
Huh?
Taylor's the newest dude.
He's the lead guy. He does most of the lead stuff. He's a real good guitar player. Glenn is psycho, dude. The mixture of those gutturals, which are maybe the best in death metal. I don't know, man.
Well, I was wondering because the first time I seen him live, I'm like, is age going to be a factor in this thing? It didn't seem like it wasn't at all, man.
Nope. And then when he does the crazed, almost screams that are kind of like unhinged, like for example on Summon Satan, the Cacodemon, it's like
Satan's one.
And he would just go from the death metal to the scream, like boom, like nothing, like he pulled a trigger, and you're like, whoa, man.
And there's power behind all of it. Like none of it sounded like he was like trying to like I gotta save my voice when I blow it. He's got like remarkable control of that. Like when I first saw him, actually the first time I saw him wasn't until like 2019 at MDF, and I kind of was like, all right, let's see if the because you always wonder about an old band, they've been around for a while, how weathered they are, and it was the tightest set of just insanely fast, brutal death metal that I think I saw all week long.
But the secret fucking weapon in that band is Steve Ashon. That guy is that guy is Neil Peart of death metal. I don't care what the fuck you say about any other drummers in death metal. Story is over. That guy is the guy. He blew my fucking mind, man. I never sit and specifically pay attention to drummers unless it's a Neil Peart or a Mike Portnoy or some prog nerdy dude that's going all over the place. I just was mesmerized by listening to the way he controlled the tempo, the fucking power behind the complexity of all the fills. And their music, for anybody that thinks it's just knuckle dragging death metal, which it is. It is, but it's way, way, way more complex than I think anybody gives it credit for, because they jam power, savage power, complexity into a 3-minute song like probably nobody in death metal. It's just 3-4 minutes. I walked out there going, I said to Derek, those pictures I showed, I ran into him walking down to go to the bathroom, and I said, dude, Deicide is going to have to fucking level up to be the best band here today. And he goes, not going to happen. Just laughing. And I went, okay, I'll let you know. when I wrote him the next day and thanked him for hanging out and being so cool, I said, dude, you came that close. You were so close. But Deicide wins the night for me. They just were mind-blowing.
Generally, anytime Deicide's on the bill, like that's just like, all right, I have to see him because they're just remarkably tight. And even reading the interview in the magazine, because I read it actually before we met up. He said he's like just in a different headspace overall. Like he really enjoys this lineup he's got. They practice all the time. You know, everything is just very natural. And he even brought up like being in a better headspace and being like, more focused on the music.
Guys doing this so long, they're like masters of this crap. You know, but at this point, it's like, you know, people talk about it now as the art form that it is. But back when it came on the scene, it was just a bunch of teenagers who fucking were noodling with a lot of shit. But like now you listen to guys like, you know, fucking Guys Behind the Kid and Glenn Benton and even guys like Alex Webster. You know what I mean? Like what that guy doing the bass, you know, it's crazy. You know.
Yeah, James, you're one of the artists I think that Lee features on Heavy Art Talk, right?
Oh, he 100% is, dude. The fucking Spirit World fucking album cover. Jesus Christ, Death Western, so goddamn good.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, man. Look, we fully get where you and Lee are coming from, and I don't disagree. But you know, man, the artist is the guy that is paying the bill, and you know, I heard somebody talk about it. I can't remember who it was, Into the Combine maybe, or I can't remember. Anyway, they asked him about it, and he's like, "Do you think I give a fuck, man? I don't give a fuck. We just wanted to try something different." So, you know, I get it, dude. I respect what you guys do. There's so many great guys like Brad Moore, and I think I think Lee Winter should be doing artwork for albums. I think you probably agree with me, James. He's amazing. In fact,
yes,
I'm gonna pimp my show real quick here. All right, if you don't mind. Like, you know, I never do that, right? When I go play.
No. You have a YouTube channel? It's crazy.
Did I tell you that, dude?
No. I just just know you.
I didn't even know you had a channel. All right.
Yeah. You didn't know I had a channel?
No.
Then I need to be a little more vocal.
Told me.
Then I clearly need to be a little more vocal, is what you're saying, right?
Oh God, no. Never mind. Let's just walk this joke back.
Fire.
I do have to show this though, because all right, so there's the artwork for the Gasmasks and Hand Grenades shirt. It's not great because I got the back, which my buddy Rick down below me did the layout for. These are actually going into production in 2 weeks at Heavy Metallurgy with Bind Room, and Marty's gonna print me up about 35 because I need them in time for MDF. Yeah, so real quick, hold on, stay there for one moment. I'll show you this is a real close-up of the image.
Yeah, that is absolutely badass.
Absolutely fucking amazing. Lee did just a monster job. So that's the Gasmasks Hand Grenade. So again, I think you know, Lee should be out there doing this stuff for bands, and hopefully he will be soon. But you know, while all of us, I think all three of us here really, really appreciate incredible artwork like the new Necrotic, dude. Who did this? You guys know. I probably don't. Right?
I don't know who did that.
Absolutely fucking amazing.
Oh, did
the vaginal bat creature spitting out humans out of its orifices. Wow.
Marald van Hosteren?
I assume that's a painting. I don't really know. I'm not
that's
up on that shit. Okay, yeah, there you go. So I'm not an artist. I'm a guitar player. That's where I do my art, but I couldn't draw. I couldn't even draw a stick figure that would look very good. But
I'll show this piece of art. It's a piece of merch I got there, and so I got a shirt, not related to any of the bands that were there. I just saw it in there. I'm like, I had to have it. So I got 2 shirts, and Geoff saw me digging like a hobo in the garbage bin.
Oh, you were digging.
Yeah, that's where I got the Under Armour.
Nice.
Oh,
so
fuck!
Got this thing sitting there.
Yeah, I just didn't want to dig. That's right. I ran into you. You were down on the floor. I'm like, Rick, you shrank. Just
yeah, I'm trying to like a vampire through the light. Like, damn, he saw me. But then I got this thing right sitting on the wall, and this is a band I've yet to see live. I would love to, but this is the image from their demo, which I don't see that often. It's from one of their fests. It was a limited edition thing, and I had to have it, man. This fucking chemist.
Oh, wow, that's cool,
I've
man.
seen chemists. Dude,
Speaking of chemists, Ben is going to be coming on soon.
It's not
Which is
focusing,
cool.
damn it. There's a lot more details to it. It just it doesn't show up well on camera. But
yeah, I think I can make it out. I mean, I definitely know that character. He's popped up a few times.
Yeah. I bought their demo on Bandcamp like the day one and like when they dropped because I fucking love that artwork. I had no idea who the band was. And then like maybe a year later they dropped it. You can't get it on Bandcamp. It's still in my digital, but you can't find it. So like I don't know if they're embarrassed by it or what, but I think it rules. But yeah, have very different sound.
I like that a lot of their artwork's really good too.
Have you
Which
checked
I don't
out
know.
That's Ben's other band, Glacial.
Yeah,
2.
we're gonna talk about. I haven't heard it. There's a new one coming out, brand new one, right?
I'm stoked.
Oh, you have it?
No, not yet. I mean,
It comes out in May or June, early June, somewhere around there.
I think it's next month.
Yeah,
I think it is May. No, I went over the band and their drummer got a hold of me and thanked me, and then sent me a copy of their first EP.
Awesome. That's killer. All right, so Deicide, man, I'm a believer. I'm definitely going to get the first 3, and I'll probably go into
Serpents of the Light's good too.
All right, I mean, I'm going to go into it a little bit more. You know, I'm sure I'll walk away with at least the first couple, and dip my toe in other areas and see what I think. I do recall listening to the Stench of Redemption a while back. Was that the one with? That's the one with Santola on it, I believe, right?
Ralph Santola and Jack Owen.
Yeah, and that one I remember was pretty fucking good.
It is.
But especially the guitar playing. So, yeah, I walked out of there a believer, was pretty blown away by it. We went out, we kind of milled around a little bit, all 3 of us. And then we ran into Shane. And I think his last name is McCarthy, I think. Shane McCarthy from Wayfair. And he's in another band too, Stormkeep.
I ended up venturing out because, well, no, I saw
you wanted to get a smoke. I think you'd gone out.
Well, no, I went out and had a smoke, and then I ran into Knox from Enforce. And
right. Oh, shit.
He saw me. He was like, "Oh, dude!" He gave me like a big hug and shit.
Ah, fuck! I wish I knew.
We were talking about our love of Biohazard and shit, and just how badass of a set they had. And then I also ran into Steve from 200 Stab Wounds, which he says, like, dude, I was looking around for you. I was like, dude, I've been floating around everywhere, but
yeah,
I wanted to make sure I said hi because it's just great seeing some familiar faces. But,
yeah. The cool thing about that shit is, like in my case, Derek and Matt, when you run into these guys and you're not a fucking uber fanboy, and by that I mean you're not just like that kind of shit, and you get to know some of these guys on a personal level. These guys at this level really appreciate the support we give them, the fandom that we give them in a non-aggressively weird way, overly aggressive, like hanging all over them. You know when to dip in, talk to them. You know when to dip out and let them talk to other people. Glenn Danzig, God damn it, Glenn Benz. I did that last night. I said Danzig.
Wait, Glenn Danzig from Fit for an Autopsy?
He was Fit for an Autopsy. He was there. Did you see him? He's really short. No, he's shorter than me. He's like 5'2".
You're spoiling, man. Danzig's going to headline next year.
Anyway, Glenn Benton and probably Steve could not really come out and just hang out because it would become a bit of a clusterfuck of weirdness at times. And I mean, some tells me Glenn does not put up with that kind of thing very easily. So
Sean from Dying Fetus was floating around the crowd, being pretty damn social. But yeah, like when you hit like a certain level, I imagine you get mobbed quite a bit. Yeah, but I mean, it was just good seeing those. It's just because we've chatted about like shit outside of metal, and dude, fucking Steve's been from 200 Stab Wounds. He's been to my house. Like he's hung.
Yeah, I remember that they came to your house. That's right. Yeah. And I mean, quite frankly, most of the guys from most of the bands were pretty visible out either at the merch stand. Deicide was the only one where I didn't see any of them. I did see the guy, the bass player. I think it was a bass player, right?
Glenn's the bass player.
Yeah.
So it's not.
No. Of
Dying Fetus?
Yeah, fucking. I just want to keep
They're
going.
autopsy.
Let me call him that, will you?
Dude, you just no, you can't. You can't.
Why?
You're not allowed.
Why? Well, who said there's any rules to this thing?
There should be that rule. Like that's the only rule I'm going for. She can't call him that. Come on.
You're just always being a.
No,
bitch
Sean
to me.
was out there just hanging out.
I might have to like troll him, just send him like a dying fetus cover, and then like, but the music sounds like fit for an autopsy.
Don't you fucking dare! Don't do that. By the way, Rick, if you have any empty CD shells, I could use some.
Oh, I got tons of them.
Well, send me, I don't know, 10 of them or something. You don't have to go crazy, but I have a couple CDs that either, and you sent me some before, and I'll be damned if I can find it. They're here, but I have no idea where they're at. So I did it. Well, we'll get into the final here. So we all did our hangouts. I talked to Shane. He was in a hurry, so he kind of jetted. We talked to Matt and those guys and Derek and all those dudes. Just great guys, man. Just super great guys. And then we booked and we went outside, and it was a little nippy, not cold, but just cool enough. And like a dumbass, I didn't wear a sweatshirt.
The real star of the show, man, was that damn food truck. Like,
dude,
that.
What the hell was that place called?
I don't know. I didn't because we had it. We had it the first night too.
Yeah,
like that was the first thing we spied, and it was like, oh, fucking all right, Euros, let's do it.
Yeah, because we hadn't really eaten since about 3:30, so it was already midnight, close to midnight at this point. Because I think the show was over about 11.
Do that to you, man. Like
I had drunk hunger going, like I was ravenous. I as soon as I saw the lights from it, I was like, that now.
Yeah, I think the show was over about 11:20, 11:25. By the time we milled around and fucked around leaving, it was 10 of.
Yeah.
You guys saw that. Rick spotted that truck. He was like, dude. And I went up, and just the smell of it, you're like, oh.
The lights draw you in, man. It's like that Beetlejuice sign at the model just kind of pointing down. Just come here.
Yep.
That's what it was.
Dude, we knew from like the last night, because we got that. I had to eat it in stronger winds too, which sucks because you're eating it out like a styrofoam container. But yeah, I got Euro lamb. Look at the seasoning on that was so damn good. Like tahini rice.
Dude, the tahini was literally fucking god tier, man. I got chicken with spiced rice, like curried rice.
Yeah.
I'm no lie, man. I just was like, I even brought it up. I'm like, I think I want to go back there and get another batch of that stuff, man.
Dude, that was absolutely amazing. Honestly, I mean, there's a lot of good, like, Lebanese and, Greek places around in my town. But, man, I don't know. There's something about the seasoning on that lamb that's just like, dude, this is just magic.
I was telling Geoff earlier, he earned that tip, man. It's like, it wasn't just like a...
Okay, let's address that. Let's address that right now, you fuckers, man. So I go first, and I pay. It's $15. I give him a $2.50 tip. What the fuck does your brother-in-law do? He tips him like fucking $8, and Rick gives him like $50 or something stupid like that. It was a lot. It was like a $20 bill. I'm like,
I was next, the lowest, but I still tipped him like $7.
Wait. Did you pay your brother-in-law?
He paid. We all pay for our own.
Oh, we did?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought your brother-in-law bought you and him. Okay.
No. I bought my own. I tipped him $7.
So you gave him. You're right. You gave him $7. I didn't hear what John gave him, but I imagine it was in that range. And then Rick, don't fucking lie. Do not lie to me.
He was very happy.
Give him?
I didn't give as much as you guys. Well, so what was it? 15.
Mine was 15. I think yours was a little less because it was the sandwich.
I just gave him a 20. That like whatever it costs. Like
I think it was $8, bro. I think that's what it was. Okay. So here's what I want to say to you, fucks. Okay, just listen up. I gave him $2 and looked like the tightest, cheapest piece of shit that night. Because I went first, and I'm like, oh, well, you give them like 10 to 15.
Here you go, a little something for the missus,
And then at the end, I'm like, wait, I heard someone, might have been you, Nick, give him $7. I'm like, whoa. And at the end, I'm like, wait, did I give you the least amount of money? And I was out of cash at that point. I literally had no cash. So I tipped him on my card. And I'm like, so I look like the chump here. I'm the cheap tightwad. Dude, I'm on disability. I have to put it on my card. And now I'm making up every excuse in the book to not give him another fiber.
My dog died today.
So here's the thing. I got a 2-finger salute for both of you guys. Fuck you. Thanks a lot for making me look like a cheap chump. Cheap bastard.
Actually. Yeah.
You earned that 20, man. That's all I'm saying.
So then we headed off to the parking lot to Rick's. We took some pictures, which I don't think I showed these, right? Did I?
No, you showed me. I think you showed me before we
Yeah,
started.
I didn't show you guys. So this is the last set of pictures here. This is in the parking lot before we left. There is Rick and Nick and I.
Look at those two.
Again, I'm about 5'7.5". So that'll kind of tell you how tall Nick is and Rick is. And
Well, I got a Skull of Pendor shirt, so it kind of makes me taller. Just by
yeah. And then just to really accentuate this, I don't know what I just did to my phone, but it's pretty wicked. So check this out. Look at that.
Oh, you held down on it. So we got a halo. Like I said, we look like a cell phone signal.
Blinded by the light.
Yep.
Okay,
Like
so that is fucking Rick.
well,
That is Nick, and that is Lurch.
that's what happens when you don't wear your aluminum hats, man. Like
I was waiting for John to go. You rang. I can't even go as low.
Oh,
as
dude, I guess for a while, like there was some dude that he worked with years ago that called him Honky Squatch.
Take me off. Honky what? Squat.
Honky Squatch.
That's about it right there. Yeah. And the wild thing is, as we're walking, I think we were leading, or it might have been in between bands before Deicide came in. There was a dude 6'10".
Yep.
Your brother-in-law said he's 6'8". I think he's a little closer to 6'7", because this guy looked at least a good 3 inches tall. But I was having to look up so far that the clouds and shit were obscuring my view perfectly, so I couldn't tell. But this guy said he was 6'10".
We went to go see Obituary and 200 Stab Wounds and Gruesome, like I think it was a couple of years ago at in Cleveland Heights, and we got there. I think we got there in time for. There's that little thumbs up. That is weird.
It does shit randomly. I have no idea.
But we got there in time to see 200 Stab Wounds, and I was stuck behind what I thought was a dude that had a kid on his shoulders. Like I was like, okay, this is obnoxious. Whatever. No, it was a giant. This dude, I believe he said he was like 7'2", and John walked by him, and that guy like looked down at John.
Which is insane.
Anyone do that?
Rick, you remember at the Horrendous show, we saw that dude that was like 7'2". He was just massive. It was like
he said to John, "How's the weather up there?" And John, for the first time, like looking up, was like, "I don't know. You tell me, man." Like this dude was just massive. It was like, man, I've
that's what some of these NBA players. These NBA players are 6'10", 6'9", or no, 6'10". 6'11", 7'1". Yao Ming, 7'6". Like what the fuck, right? I mean, at the Horrendous show,
it's not a very pleasant thing, man. Like when you read these, you ever like Under the Giant's memoir, man? It's like the most depressing thing, man. It's like,
and a lot of guys that tall don't live as long. I hate to say it, they tend to have circulatory problems because the heart has to work so hard to pump the blood.
It just
gravity works.
Just the logistics of living life, man. Like how everything's not quite made for you, having to go under doors all the time, and fucking. And when you have the big hands, that's another one, man. Just having to just grip everyday things just becomes.
Well, I know, like he says, like like a lot of my dream cars, I just can't fucking fit in because I'm huge. But in terms of having a beacon at a show, like someone you can find, John,
I ain't gonna lie to you, having a guy that size with you, you feel a little more bolder. Like nobody's gonna really fuck with you if they're small.
No, I mean, like for a while I was
couldn't hold your own.
No. I mean, for a while I was used to being the big guy at the shows, like in terms of like my crowd, like relatively large person, but
dude, you're tiny next to him. No offense, you're small.
Well, no, if I'm tiny, then you're like a micro machine. Like that's what you drove to the show in.
Hey man, we don't have to get personal now, okay? Jesus Christ.
Like no, it's weird. We got in this car, we had to put a penny in the back and pull it back.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say we had to put me in my car seat and strap me in.
Well, no, I didn't want to get to that. I thought that was too personal.
But real quick.
A book tied to the accelerator, though. I thought that was funny.
Well, real quick, Rick runs us over to the casino. We go back in the door we came out of. They again pretend that we were in there gambling, but we didn't actually go into the casino. We just went right to the thing. I drove in a Hot Wheel. That's right.
I don't remember it much, man. I was still in a food coma, man. After that.
Oh, dude. I mean, the entire time we're walking, I'm shoveling.
We're just chowing as we're walking. Yeah,
so good.
Crazy. That no lie. Well, you know what? I can look up his name here. I can look it up in a sec here. Because it was in my thing here. But yeah, it was insane. And on the way home, though, which you didn't hear this part, Nick, I don't think. We left right away, pretty much. We got in. I dropped you guys off over your hotel. We talked briefly about doing this thing tonight. And I zipped out. And it wasn't too late. I think I was on the road by 1:15, something like that.
Yeah, I was in bed by like a little after 1.
Yeah. And so, hold on. And so I'm driving home. I'm out of the city now, getting on the school kill at this point. No lot lizards, not this time. No. And some dude comes racing up next to me. I'm in what would be the non-passing lane. Some dude comes racing up to me in a fucking beat up old pickup truck and basically is crowding the middle line. And I'm like, oh, fuck. And he's just raced up, but he can't quite go around this corner because there's road work there and a cattle chute on one side. So he slows up. We get out of that, and he just races ahead. Then he suddenly just almost comes to a fucking stop in the road. We all kind of come up on him. He jumps into my lane right in front of me. I go out around him in the berm of the road. He clearly fucking hammered or fucked up. I jet ahead. Now, I'd already missed my chance to get his license plate. I jet ahead. I'm not lying to you. I was doing 90-95 up Schuylkill, which is a windy road. You gotta know that road like I do. And it's pretty quiet at night to get away because I just wanted to get as far away from this fucker as possible. And of course, he tried to pick up the pace, but the good old Camry with the double 4-barrel. No, I'm just kidding. I just motored and he couldn't catch me. Get on the road, get about a half an hour from home, and I live up in more rural Pennsylvania. Flamer. I live up around. I'll just say I live near Lancaster. So I know what you're talking about with Club Reverb. And I'm speculating there's an issue with promoters down in Philly because we're not getting some of the bigger mid-tier metal bands. We're getting the more, underground arts ones and stuff like that. So that is weird. But Suffocation and Incantation and Behemoth, they all played at Reverb. I don't mind Reverb, but I get where some people might not like it. But anyways, I digress. I'm going up the road, and all of a sudden, man, right in front of me, maybe about 6 car lengths ahead of me, a big buck jumps into the road, runs out across the road, and I kind of glance at him, and then I'm like, in my mind, I'm going, uh-oh, there's probably more. I glance to my right, and boom, 3 deer start walking onto the road. I got to pretty much lock them up because now I'm about 4 car lengths away. I lay on the horn, startle the one doe. It slips and falls in the roadway. I got to go into the other lane so I don't run into him. And then it gets up and bolts off the other direction. Man, the rest of the way home, I was on mega high alert because I've hurt a deer once, completely totaled my car, eviscerated the deer. Thankfully, I wasn't hurt, but my car was totaled from it. And
one of my old friends, when I was back in that, he got his first car. It was a Alero, Oldsmobile Alero, and he had it for 2 weeks. He totaled the thing hitting a deer up in Collegeville.
Yep.
It's 2 weeks. Man.
Yeah, it's tough, man. I did not want to wreck that thing. And then I get home and I start not feeling well. And it just carried on until thankfully last night because I was able to do this tonight. And I've got something going on here I got to get out of here in a minute for. But yeah, it was a fucking great night. It was so cool to meet Nick, hang out with Nick. It was fun. Nick and I have a great relationship. It's kind of like I hate him, he hates me. It's awesome.
But I hate him better. That's the main thing. But no, I did get some merch. And if it wasn't for Geoff and Rick alerting me to this one, this was the rare Deicide shirt of the show. They only made 75 of these. These are
each size.
Beer Fest official. And this kind of works for my Once Upon a Cross shirt. I mean, it's kind of because that's the only one I was missing in terms of the original trifecta. But
the artwork's kind of a little goofy in a way, but is that what it looks like on the front?
It's a disemboweled Jesus, yes.
Yeah. Is that what the artwork looks like on the cover of the actual album?
Well, the uncensored one, like most people find the one with the cloth draped over.
I was holding out for this. That's why I didn't get a shirt. Holding out for
that is fucking awesome. And then the first day I had to snag a Crowbar shirt for my favorite Crowbar album, Sonic Excess.
Your brother got one too, man. I noticed. He got one right away, actually.
Yep. Oh yeah. I already looked at it and was like, man, we're gonna end up with the same damn shirt because that's my GOAT album. And then because I needed another hyper offensive Dying Fetus shirt.
Of course you did.
I got the From Wound to Waste.
Dude, that is nasty. Oh my god, that's nuts.
Yep. Wow. So I'm not monetizing the stream. And I just made sure of it.
There's one problem with that shirt though. It doesn't say fit for an autopsy.
Well, you get the up close of the little fest.
Oh man, God.
Well, no, the quote is great.
That fit for an autopsy band, just kind of creeps in.
Rick, I push a lot of limits. That is one I don't think I would wear.
Oh, well, no, I have the quote on the back too. It's not my fault I'm pregnant and I love drugs. Who cares? Fuck the baby. Let it die. That is the quote that opens up that song.
And that probably is true because it came from a real person. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, either that or it was like a movie or something like that. Either way, I mean, I had to.
Marjorie Taylor Greene is not proud of you, Nick.
She's not proud of anything. She should be proud of her Adam's Ample and her Cro-Magnon features.
Funny quick post here on Instagram. The band exists. We know the band exists. They just released their new album last Friday. Yep. I got to get it. I'm slacking.
You posted your review, right?
Yep. Yeah. It's good. It's a little bit different than the last one.
A little gentler. Yeah. But they're not on Metal Archive, so they posted this thing on their Instagram today. It says, we've waited our whole life to be posted on Metallum or Metal Archives or whatever. It's our sole aim as musicians. And I wrote in the comments, I'm like, this is fucking bullshit. I am contacting Marjorie Taylor Greene. This needs to be investigated by the Supreme Court.
I kind of wonder now if they saw our review then, because legit.
I'll point it out to Max. I'm gonna give.
Well, no, we legit said prog metal is so good it should be in the archives already.
Now, is that the one you pointed out my name in?
Yeah. That's when I pointed out your name. Like, Geoff introduced me to this man, and it was
an
awesome.
asshole.
There you go.
No asshole. Yep. I still can't stand that fuck, but
I know. There's a joke in there. Trust me.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure. The dwarf, formerly known as Geoff, introduced me to this band.
Not formally known. He's still known as Geoff.
He's still known as
the little people.
Here's the name of the restaurant. What's it say?
King Gyro.
King Gyro in Newtown Road, whatever that is. And there is my $15 dinner with a $2.39 tip. Cheap ass motherfucker.
God, you piece of shit. I should boot him just for that lousy tip.
You should. Yeah. So that was it, man. We had a great fucking time. Nick and I are going to do it over in about 5 weeks, roughly, give or take.
Oh, yeah. We're going to have a pre-MDF stream talking about
we should talk about that quick. Yes, on Jimmy Future Ruins channel, Future Ruins, we are going to do a pre-MDF kind of game, like almost like a pre-Super Bowl party thing, where we talk about bands we want to see, food we want to eat, lot lizards we want to get with.
I'm going to give them all Brian's number.
Yeah, Brian, we're going to make sure that they come. Yes. So many streams, so little time. Oh, quit crying, wimpy boy. Anyway. So yeah, we're doing that. I want to say 8 or 9. Rick is working
11th, right?
On the 11th of May. Rick is working on a special thumbnail for that. I think he is. We'll probably unleash that about a week ahead of time. And yeah, it's going to be Jimmy, myself, Nick, I think Jam and John, hopefully.
If he's still got to get internet in his new place. I think that's coming soon. But if
Rick
not, he will sit in here with me.
Rick's going to join us, even though unfortunately he cannot make it because he's going to be, I don't know, Alaska or
no room. I can squeeze in the corner somewhere. I think I'll be all right.
You'll get it. Serge is coming in because he's going Friday night. Jimmy and I plan to be at all the shows. Well, I take that back. I may be the only guy going to Pre-Fest. You're not going, right, Nick?
No, I'm flying in the day before.
I might be the only guy that goes to that, I guess. But I also might go to Esoteric and Spectral Voice and Thealist. So we'll see what happens. But that's a kind of iffy thing. But I'm there for the 4 days. Jimmy's there for the 4 days. Serge's going Friday. You're going for the 4 days. John's going for the 4 days. And is Chris going?
I don't know. I haven't heard from him about MDF. Like,
yeah,
he's still coming off.
If he's going.
Well, he's still coming off of a knee surgery. Like, I know he's moving around more.
Well, he may not be able to do it.
Well, he was at he was at a Orioles game, but that still involves like a lot of sitting down.
Oh, you can sit. I mean, yeah, he could just use a wheelchair because I'm bringing the wheelchair Rick gave me in just in case I need it, and it might come in handy. Go, man, I'm disabled right now. I need to go up to the front of the line for bloodbath or dismember. We'll see. I'm not going to abuse that.
Unless you're legit hurt if you use that to get up front. I'm just going to kick you over.
Well, the other thing to mention then about this stream, again, it's either 8 or 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on May 11th. But the other thing to mention is we will have guests. All band members or bands that are going to be at that show or those shows at MDF are going to drop in. Should I name drop? Yeah, I'll name drop. Kelly Schaefer of Atheist is going to drop in. Phil Tugas from Thealist is going to drop in. Oh, shit. We'll see about the Crypt Sermon, guys. Maybe not. All right, help me out. Esoteric, Greg and I are doing something Friday night because I had to cancel last night. I was just too sick. We're doing Greg Chandler and I are going to do a hang Friday night at 7 p.m. Eastern to go over the tour that they're doing, the MDF appearance, all the shit that's going on, right? Fuck me. Who else is going to be there? This is terrible.
John from Agalock.
Oh, John Halm is going to drop in. Potentially some other Agalockians. Craig LaCicero is probably going to drop in quickly. But these are all people that are going to drop in. They're not staying all night. They're just going to drop in and kind of unload their pimp mobiles of the stuff they got going on. And as many people maybe know or don't know, Agalock replaced My Dying Bride on the show for Friday. I think it's Friday. Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So we'll be doing this all again soon. I'm going to Vicious Rumors and Anvil on the 29th down in Maryland at Club Metro. If anybody sees me, say hello. I'm going to Queensryche and Armored Saint on the 1st. Wayfair down. Rick and I are going to Wayfair, Johnny Brenda's, which we know about. Thanks, Alex. We've been there. What else shows do we have going, Rick? Anything?
After that, oh shit. I don't know. Unless Decibel's doing something else.
Well, they are. Decibel is doing something in August, but I can't really talk about it. Particularly what's specifically going on. Let me look here. I'm just saying, looking at my schedule. Man, what a murderer's fucking row. The 22nd through the 27th, I have shows going every fucking day. I don't know how I'm going to do that. But Wayfair is the 13th of May. The 16th of May is Earth. Did you know that they're playing at Johnny Brenda's 2 Earth? Rick?
Oh, cool.
Which I kind of doubt I'll make it to. I mean, it's possible, I guess, but probably not. And then on the 3rd, I'm sorry. On May 30th, Skeletal Remains is in Gladwin, which I don't know if you were going to be able to make out. Overkill is playing locally. I can literally just drive 20 minutes for Overkill the next day. And finally, is that all my shows? Oh, there's something here on the 1st. Oh, the first day of LGBTQ Pride Month. Okay. Going to be at that. No, I'm just kidding. Striper Acoustic on June 3rd.
Ugh.
Nah, I'm going to go. I want to see it. I need a little God in my life, dude.
It might be sweet.
I see what you did there, man. That was very tricky. Yeah. What's that?
No, I was just groaning at the joke.
Rick's fucking puns. Aren't they great?
I'm going to have at least one for tonight.
So, yeah. So, real quick, I got a stream that I'm leaving right now for Greg Beerhorse from the Ruffians, Las Rocket, Control, the Butlers, a couple other things. We're going to talk here at 11 o'clock his time, my time, 8 o'clock his time. Jump over there if you still want to. If you haven't gotten enough of me and are sick of hearing me talk, jump over there. Friday, Greg from Esoteric, 7 p.m. my time. And then May 5th, John Holm is coming on. Don't have a time yet. John Holm from Igalot. We're doing a rollout on his brand new solo album, the third in the trilogy. I have the name of it, but I forget the name of it off the top of my head. And Scott and David Gelke, Scott Burns, going to be coming up in later May or early June. And Crib Sermon coming up sometime soon. But I got other stuff. I got a lot of irons in the fire. So,
yeah, I mean, for us, usual content coming. I'm actually working on something right now. And the 5th of May, I will be seeing Decapitated, Septic Flesh, and Legion and Cataclysm in Fort Wayne. So that'll be a lot of fun. But yeah, I'm trying not to hit as many shows just because I know I'm going to spend a lot of money.
Yep. I'm a little worried I'm going to come down there kind of skint, but we'll see what happens. But Alex, you're asking, why don't I bring up dates? I'm not sure what you're asking about, what dates. And yes, I've gone to shows often alone, especially after
with this kind of stuff. You kind of have to get used to it because not everybody in your circle is going to be into this kind of music.
Right.
But we can pretty much wrap it up because I know you're busy. I got to get back down to doing some serious editing. But thank you guys for all showing up.
Man, thank you so much for having it. Appreciate having us.
Thanks for the whole meetup and everything. Dude. It was
it was fucking killer. It was fun, man. I mean, we just had a great time, and we had to kind of keep it easy on the alcohol because I can't drink like I used to, and that's a good thing. Trust me. That's a very good thing. But yeah, man. I do go to shows alone. Yes, I do. Not often. It's nice having a buddy now. And Rick, when I go to Philly, I kind of have someone I can usually meet up with. I drag him along, kicking and screaming. And
well, the problem is all the good shows are like on a Tuesday or something.
Yeah, it is a problem sometimes. But
shit.
But yeah, it was killer meeting John. It's gonna be great. John, Nick, it's gonna be killer meeting John coming up. It's going to be fucking awesome to meet Jimmy and hang out with him.
Jimmy's awesome.
Two things are going to happen at Death Fest. I'm either going to have the time of my life or I am going to die at Death Fest, and you guys are going to have to take care of my body.
Do like a Weekend at Bernie's thing, just kind of,
Yeah, there you go. Just Nick can't wait to put his arm around me. And
we're going to crowd surf you, and I'm just going to walk away.
Give him one of these, you'll be all right.
Yeah, we'll tape on the sunglasses so they stay on there good.
Thanks to everybody that watched. If you want to go watch some live footage, again, go to Gasmasks Hand Grenades. There's some shorts on there, and there's a video of Deicide doing a song or two. There's also a video of that Twink Core band called Twink Mold or Tomb Bore or whatever they're called. They're on there.
I think they definitely gave up.
Just real quick, so I got a Saturday night. So our buddy Brian and Arkham in the chats. Along with Logan Metal Beer, we're doing a 420 Saturday night. So on my channel. So you got nothing going on, not going to shows, always welcome.
Yes, Brian mentioned one quick thing though. I am hoping and praying to the Lord Exalted Satan that there's some more tuna melt going on down at, but there's no Edison lot now. So I don't,
dude, believe it or not, crotches will get sweaty and musty in literally every area of Baltimore. Like seriously, you want to go find a grilled cheese sandwich to go pry open? You go for it.
well, I mean, I've been known to eat a grilled cheese sandwich or two. I'm just saying, and a tuna melt, but not on the asphalt at the Edison lot. I've never done that. So, which by the way, I bring up with Chris Reifert in my interview with him, so go check that out. I'm
gonna have to now.
It's fucking funny as hell. So yeah, lots of good interviews over on my page. Andrew Craighand, Chris Reifert. Who else did I do recently? Help me out. Some big names. Who the fuck? Robert Lowe from Solitude Eternus. Man, there's all kind of great interviews. So get over there and check those out and thumbs
check out
up.
both these guys' channels. Subscribe to them. They cover
Nick's gonna put links to our channels in the description.
Everybody's still holding out for Chris Barnes, man. Like, when are you gonna have him on?
No, I'm not going to Milwaukee. But Nick and I are going to Death Fest.
Yeah, if Milwaukee, in terms of the dates, weren't so close, like if it was like in October or November or something like that,
I had to make a financial decision there, man. Anybody going to both those is.
I want to go to FTA again too, and that's in early September. So I got time in between MDF and that one to save up money again.
All right, guys. Peace out.
All right. Catch y'all later.
Thanks, Nick.
Whoop. Catch you later.